There we are.
There we are. You still never should have put those bushes out in front of your house.
We don't have any bushes out in front of my house.
Oh, that just makes it easier to watch you.
On another note, you might want to wash off
That's bushes, dude.
the front curb.
All right, we're live. We live. We good.
Because that's not
we are live, and we should start with the introductions.
Everybody switch their shit to studio.
Yeah.
Me.
Herpadurpalophagus.
And apparently I can't play it anymore.
Fuck.
I'm Scoobie331, and I'm here with these motherfuckers. Would you motherfuckers like to introduce yourselves?
Which Scooby are you, motherfucker?
I am the motherfucking Scooby. We have with us the next 6 minutes. How you doing, brother? I love you.
In the words of my people, a la verga.
Fuck yeah, that's great. And we also have two Scooby imposters, one of which is muted, which is good, because if he wasn't, I'd punch him in his fat face. And we have the other Scooby. How you doing, Scooby? I love you, brother.
Yes.
You know, you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. We also have an airplane with us.
What?
Hey, so all I'm saying is somebody's got to get this shit under control.
Sliced bread?
Back.
Are we talking pumpernickel?
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. Do pumpernickel,
Right.
Swiss, maybe some Havarti mixed in with that Swiss.
Fuck yeah.
On a nice, or I guess not on, but surrounding some marvelous ham. Be delicious.
Some black.
I love how I go to feed the dog, and you're talking about spraying the shit off of the streets for $80,000 a year. I come back and you throw out the cold cuts.
Hey man, this is a fucking dude. Look, current year, shit moves fast. That's all I'm saying.
I see that.
The deli is my second home.
Yeah, I know. Seriously,
It doesn't move very fast for those guys that are working.
Really don't hear about fucking comic books.
Yeah.
The only thing I do want to ask, I don't know if it's my internet or if it's the general lag on the stream, but I am a bit worried that with my strained internet trying to host this thing as well as upload it all, it might be turning into shit. So someone please just keep an eye on that and make sure.
Why don't you just upload it afterwards?
The stream over.
Bartender, I am eating a Fuji apple. Nothing bad can ever happen when I'm eating a Fuji apple.
That's exactly when bad things tend to happen for me.
Don't start going on this bad shit's gonna happen. I just replaced my fucking air mattress.
No, don't worry, Burnside. I'm the bad luck lightning rod here.
To be fair, the only bad thing that's going to happen is to that air mattress. So I mean, we're all good except for you and your air mattress.
Damn it! You're a jag on purpose.
Yeah, you know those holes in it? They're not for your dick.
Shit. I knew I was doing it wrong.
Oh, too funny.
You're back.
Yeah.
That was an amazing introduction. Anyway, Airplane Man.
What? You fucking obnoxious prick.
Fuck yeah, that's what I'm here for.
That's not a player, that is Rick Carroll.
Yeah, that's what he does.
All the best pricks are obnoxious.
This resort actually has pretty damn good fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
We also have the Burnside Project, who is currently sitting in his auto outside of an undisclosed location shooting out methamphetamines. Burnside, how you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. I'm actually observing people shoot up methamphetamines, not actually doing them myself. Can't really do that while I'm working.
Point of clarification.
He's the only sober. He's the only sober person on a Friday night on the entire south side of Chicago.
Actually, depressingly, yes, you are right on that. I wish I could say you weren't, but, well, yeah, I'm sober.
Well, somebody in that city has to adult tonight, and by golly, it'll be Burnside.
Meanwhile, the first Chicago Police Tank Division is rolling out for its nightly patrol.
That's impossible. The Chicago police doesn't have the balls to use the tank.
Don't you mean
So
the
morning
Chicago?
headline's going to read Great Chicago Fire 2.0.
Or is it that he doesn't have the tank to use the balls?
I would have to argue.
Given the typical big city police marksmanship, they'd probably be canceled 3 hours after their initial patrol when they actually shot a house full of white people.
Now, Reaper, don't you mean the Chicago tanked police?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Stay away from the M60 while consuming fucking Schlitz.
Yeah, I told that to the sergeant after he gets up in the morning.
It's Pabst Blue Ribbon to you, sir.
Oh, no, they're up north. It's Schlitz.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of got that right, yeah. That's north-south divide. Every poor man up north has Schlitz with their sodomy. Everyone down south has Pabst with their burrito.
No, Burnside. No. Everywhere around where I live, they advertise old style.
And in Texas, we have our own version of fucking PBR. It's actually made in the same damn tanks in fucking Minnesota called Lone Star.
I despise Lone Star.
I won't be caught dead drinking it, but, you know.
I drink Natural Light before I drink Lone Star.
I think I would just go to AA before I would drink
bad,
Lone Star.
Damn. He goes, I don't even want to fucking drink anymore if that's my option.
Yeah, the only cheap beer I drink is Rolling Rock. And that's it. That's like the cheapest I'll ever drink.
I've had Steel Reserve.
Those aren't bad, yeah.
I
like having those for tall boys, but Tara gets really pissed when I drink those because she hates the taste of them and the smell.
Yeah, because
meanwhile, here I am sitting at the edge, thinking, "God damn it! Why did my first beer have to be a Bud Light?"
I mean, come on. You open up a fucking Steel Reserve. It smells like San Francisco.
No. That's not a vote of confidence, Nano. That is not a vote of confidence.
It wasn't meant to be. It's saying it's a shitty beer.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
And on that topic, how about we try and tap on some of that lightning we had earlier? I found out through Sticks, Hex, and Hammer that apparently it is indeed true. San Francisco is paying people a 6-figure sum just to hose shit off the streets.
You know what? It'd be cheaper to hire me for a one-time napalm strike.
Is there such a thing?
Yeah, but they kind of want to salvage all the bricks. I mean, say what you will, that there's capital to be had if you can kill the infection without killing the city.
Well, I'll tell you, Bartender. Is there such a thing as a shit hosing grin?
Apparently,
I'm pretty sure there will be. However, whether that's a response to the shit-eating grin or an amplified version of the shit-eating grin, I do not know.
The question is,
an hour, I would shoot shit off the street.
$1,000.
The question is, how many illegal aliens are they going to hire at $86 an hour to fucking hose down the streets?
Enough to make their white guilt go away.
I so want this job.
You mean a Canadian illegal immigrants then? Damn it, we're serving.
I really want this job. If you're telling me I get to go past one of those posh cafes in San Francisco when they're outside having their finger sandwiches and their croissants and all that stuff, and spray the shit all over the street while they're sitting there, hell yeah, I'd do it for free.
You mean accidentally, right?
Of course. It's a misfire due to the water pressure of the hose. These things happen.
Well,
Scoobie, I can say with all confidence you should get Saints Row 2 if for no other reason than the fact that the Septic Avenger missions exist, where you can just say screw the formality and start spraying shit everywhere.
You do realize the way I got injured was working at a landfill, and what I had to do on Wednesdays was dig through the diapers that came in from the old folks' home because they had radioactive medication that they would give them.
Wow.
Yeah,
Radioactive
this doesn't
medication.
bother me.
So
It's-
that's where Hedora
I
from
could-
the
I could
Godzilla
actually
series
buy
comes from.
radioactive- I could actually buy radioactive medication because that's the. If you ever take iodine, so they can give you like a gastrointestinal X-ray
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, that stuff. Well, we have to go and dig through and find the medication when it comes in from the hospitals and the old folks home. That's not as bad as when I used to work at the beach. We actually used to have to clean the human shit off of the walls and the ceilings, because especially the ladies' room, because those biker chicks were real nasty fucking animals. So, yeah,
So yeah,
good times.
you have that. I distinctly remember my father telling me when he worked for the city how they had the wonderful idea of having beer at the chili cook-off.
Do you want to know? This is the weird thing. When I worked there was like when my father was proudest of me, because he said to me, he goes, you see, you know what it means to have to work for money. That was his mentality, was, which I agree with that, by the way. A younger man should have a soul crushing job. It's what makes you want to excel.
Yep.
Yes and no.
Well, you shouldn't retain that soul-crushing job. That's what, if you're still cleaning toilets with the toothbrush in the same position for 20 years, you're not doing something right. But starting there
you
is
had a
good for
toothbrush
character.
when you had to do that?
No, I'm just using that as an example.
When I worked as basically a general employee at a bar, for lack of a better term, because I was washing dishes as well as maintaining the bathrooms and all that stuff, I had to hand unclog a toilet because the plunger was, well, to put it bluntly, not fit for purpose.
Yeah, I got you. So that's actually where the term comes from. You were a wetback.
Fuck.
That's what that term means. You were the barback's barback. You were the wetback. You worked behind. You were the guy that wiped down the wet bar with the rag. You were the guy that cleaned all the glasses. You were the guy that swept up. You were the guy that cleaned the bathroom when the bathroom got dirty. Yeah, you were the wetback. That's where that term comes from. The reason it got applied to the Spanish guys is because they were always the ones that filled those positions. Yep. And not for anything else, not because white people didn't apply for them. I couldn't be a wetback because I'm 6'2", and at my heaviest, I was 290 pounds. And that wasn't fat. I was always just wide like a barn door. So I couldn't be that. But you see, when you have Felipe, and he just came right in off the boat from Guadalajara, or right over the fence, depending, he basically is only about like usually 5'6" and like $120. So his, sprightly little ass can go sliding in between the bar with no trouble. That's usually why they hired those folks. It's the same reason.
Guys fresh over the river, they're not generally not very big people. You go into the interior of Mexico, it's like visiting the Lollipop Guild.
Well, that's because
I honestly want to see how Japan is on that. I hear that there's, I'm 6'3", so I know that I'd probably be towering over people.
Oh yeah, easily. And they'd be like, "Oh shit, it's Gojira."
It's Gojira.
That's because the further you go into Mexico, the less amount of calories on daily consumption there is over generations.
Yeah. Also, depending on part of the country too, it depends what they have access to nutritionally. The nutritional tables vary depending. You got to remember, there's good portions of Mexico that are forest. There are good parts of the plains. There are good parts of the desert. There are good parts that are urban. It's like America. It's just a little bit smaller. There is a little bit of diversity across the topographical landscape. And depending where you live, it's either feast or famine.
Unlike America, and like those rejects in California, where they have their defunct slag city, Mexico actually has a fully functional, armed to the teeth, Ancon commune over in Chiapas, and they make some damn good coffee when they're not trying to kill you.
When they're not trying to kill you. Hey,
Yeah,
you would know that.
And I'm gonna fucking stab your ass.
I mean, okay. When you say armed to the teeth, is this your version of armed to the teeth, which is like a Tech 9, or my version of armed to the teeth, which is tactical nuclear weapons?
my kind of armor, where they've got Kalashnikovs, Dragunovs, basically a whole bunch of rusty shit that they refurbed from the Soviet Union and the black market.
More like just the
There are no
incisors.
Dreadnoughts in Mexico, dude.
Or more just the
Okay,
molars.
for those types, I just say drones are your friends.
No, I would say the bicuspids. It would have to be the bicuspids. Just the bicuspids.
They're basically a modern step up from like the Catalonians in the Spanish Civil War. Like they've got stolen military material that they refurbed and maintained from the Mexican army, as well as some shit they jury rigged together.
So they have garbage G-36s.
Yep.
Because the Russian military never sold a damn thing to fucking Mexico. The Mexicans have they produce under license a G-36 clone, which G-36 is the worst rifle ever made in Germany. It's a fucking steaming pile of fucking garbage. And they probably have some
shit. Sorry.
And then the rest of and the rest of fucking Mexico's military hardware comes from the United States.
I'm not sure if they've got too many G3s. I know I've seen a few that look like they have M4
No, not G3, G36.
Oh,
fucking
36.
clean the wax out of your fucking ears.
Sorry, it's the ROM 5. I misheard you there because I'm going in and out of signal.
Yeah, G3 is a
computer
Apple created.
You gotta remember, ROM 5 is trying to steal all of the internet for reasons known only to him. I'm thinking he's planning on distilling it down into a substance and then basically screwing someone with that as the lube.
No, he's going to make it into the world's worst perfume.
No, because he actually believes that someday the internet companies, now that they are going to charge for access to porn tubes, so he's trying to actually download all of the internet gay porn at once.
Why does it just have to be the gay porn?
Because it's from a manual.
Market shit for the Northsiders. You bastard. That was supposed to be secret. That was going to be my crippling apartheid to the sodomites. To like box them into a nice little ghetto. Damn you, Nano Reaper.
Well, sorry, ROM5 beat you to it.
Yeah, he's downloading all the gay porn on the internet. All several thousand terabytes. And he's trying to put it all on a MacBook Pro.
Nano Raper, you and I both know a MacBook Pro is not going to have enough memory for that.
Well, yes, that's why he has a massive collection of 5 1/4 inch floppy disks.
So many, we could build a wall between us and Mexico.
From Zapatistas to gay porn, this is awesome. This is why I like having this guy around.
You know what I just realized? You know what I just realized? With a large amount of Mexico's Catholic population, ROM5 building a wall out of ROM5 stolen gay porn actually sounds like a halfway decent idea. Just like advertise it on the wall. You will find this here. Your kids will be corrupted by this.
Yeah. You know, that's one of the things. That's what I was telling people. We should have started a propaganda campaign with once that guy that they found out, what's the name?
There's a lot of what's her name.
Saussure, was that her name? When they found out that her friend was kidnapping those Mexican kids coming over the border and teaching them to shoot up schools. Yeah, that's all you need to do is make that into like propaganda and send it over there, because if they can look it up themselves, like, here, look this shit up, check this website out. Here, it's in Espanol. And look, yeah, they come to America, they steal your kids, teach them to convert to Islam and shoot up a school. Yeah, you'll see how fast that caravan coming from Ecuador is going to turn around and go back the other way. That's like a huge fear among Catholics, believe me. That's all they would teach us is, you know, the Muslims are going to grab you and they're going to convert you. That's all they taught us when I was a kid. You know, they taught.
That's before they had commie pope.
Yeah, the two things that they taught us, I remember, was the Jews denied Christ, so have no mercy for them, and the Arabs are going to, well, not the Arabs, excuse me, the Muslims are going to try to convert you, and, you know, They believe in Jesus. They just have the wrong idea. So, you can be merciful for them, but, the Jews have to accept Christ. That's all that was driven into my head. I went to one of those churches where they only, like spoke Latin when they gave mass. Yeah, it was like that. It was really,
So
like
you didn't know if they were singing scripture or casting spells.
it was, you know what it was? Like they would come in, and this is when they used to dress like in that outfit, like you ever see when they wear that? The Catholic priests, they come in and it looks like a tablecloth, and they got the big thing like a shepherd, the crook. They got like a shepherd's crook that they're walking in with, and they're usually shaking this big ass thing full of incense, and they got all their little thralls behind them, the altar boys, and they're
The
all.
case for casting spells has been
See, Scoop, the last
bolted
time I went to Catholic Mass, the priests were wearing armor with a white tabard over it with a big red cross. So,
Yep, I've seen that.
Yeah,
Different denomination, but yeah, I've seen that too.
the churches
Yeah.
that I go to, you walk into the place of worship, and there are people with casseroles, lots and lots of casseroles.
Well, when you come into a Catholic church, especially an old world Catholic church, usually what you do is you drop to one knee at the threshold, and you take some holy water on the tip of your index finger, and that's on your right hand, and you give yourself the sign of the cross, which is forehead, chest, shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder, and then usually. I guess it's probably a thing with Sicilians, Italians, probably the Spanish do it too. You seal it with a kiss. That's,
Yep. I've been to a Spanish language church, a Catholic church. Went with a friend of mine one time.
Yeah,
The whole
and
shebang.
hey, it's interesting because if you look, almost I say this is a very very interesting cross section. All of your organized crime people in the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area are all Catholics and all Democrats.
except for the Russians.
There are some of them that are of the Catholic faith, but a lot of them are Greek Orthodox. Excuse me, I think it's Russian Orthodox at that point.
Yeah,
Hey,
I think Greek
there's
Orthodox
actually
is a thing in Greece, and that's about it.
so I think any mob. All right, for one, you can't have organized crime without law and order. But two, there's so many different mafias at this point. There's literally a mafia for any race.
Right. Well, I'm saying
No.
specifically
The
the
Russian thing
ones.
is the Canadian mafia.
Well,
They're
first,
too busy apologizing.
We call that the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I would not be surprised if there was a Canadian mafia, but I
think basically what ended up happening was that the Sicilians originally popularized the term mafia, and then everybody just took it like how it's a thing whenever there's a scandal to name what it is, and then put gate at the end of it after Watergate.
right. Well,
and there's also
Can you
not
imagine how
there's
many
also-
times they would have to say sorry?
there's also not a French mafia because they're too busy turning themselves into the police.
well,
No. What ended up happening was that the French were co-opted by the Islamist mafia.
Now I'm sorry, but you're gonna make me really mad, and I'm gonna have to give you some concrete shoes, don't you know?
I have to run over you with my Zamboni.
I'm sorry, but the Don needs to see you. It's really important, eh?
The thing is, mafia. That word, what mafioso means, is in our language. What we adopted that from originally was Arabic. It comes from I think it's originally pronounced mufioso, and what that means is like it's got dual meaning. It means refugee because when the Arabs occupied Sicily, a lot of the folks ran up into the hills, up into the caves and whatnot to get away from them. And so they were calling them, I think it's pronounced something like Mufiusu or something like that. And it also, the secondary meaning of it, because of how they actually were up in those hills for something like 800 years. Like, they kept up this struggle for centuries. and it became synonymous with the word for boldness. This is until the Normans actually took over. I think the Caliphate of Sicily lasted, I believe it's either 400 or 800 years. I'm not sure the number. I'm pretty sure it's some high number, like 800, ridiculously high. That's why so many.
You're part of the family business.
I'll go into that later, but the thing is, the word mafioso, like what it means nowadays in modern Siculish and Siciliano, what mafioso means, it means boldness, swaggerer. Like the literal definition of a mafioso is John Wayne. He is a mafioso on every level. That's what that word means. Like this is the thing. Like a lot of people are trying to use, and I actually get really insulted when people say to me, "Well, you know, President Trump, you voted for him. He uses mafioso tactics." I look at them and I go, "Yeah, and that's supposed to, you know, like how's that? Well, what do you mean by that?" I tell people, like it gets under my skin a little. But that's literally what the term means. It means to have like a boldness, a swagger. Like one of the things that was actually tongue in cheek when they would refer to them in the neighborhood, when they would call them wise guys, it wasn't so much a term of affection as they were saying it, you know, like, you know, these fucking wise guys. That's where it came from originally. You know, it was originally like a derogatory slang. A lot of the things here is actually that a lot of the things that come out of New York. You know, it tends to be a lot of misinterpretation on the hands of the press. Like, for example, the Dead Rabbits from Gangs of New York. That was actually originally a misinterpretation of Irish Gaelic in the New York Times in the turn of the 19th century. What they had done, they had went down to the points and they were asking who runs the place. And people were saying to them, and they were pointing at them, and they were saying, Didrabi. And what Didrabi means in Gaelic, it means lowlife. So they were pointing at them and calling them lowlives. And they didn't understand Gaelic, so they thought they were calling them the Dead Rabbits. Like they thought they were calling them that like as like a, you know, like a street gang name. So the Irish, when they heard that, they took it and ran with it. They adopted that. So that's actually where that came from. So it's kind of like one of those things. It's you take something and you own it. You turn it around and you make it your own, and that's where that came from. But as for what you were saying about the family business, yeah, I know a thing or two. Holy Romfi.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
it seems like he hit on a particularly good vein of gay porn there.
Stop fucking the xenomorph, man.
I don't think it's just that you managed to get on Furf.
Do I sound any better now?
Shit
You know, leave it. Yeah, you do. Leave it to Burnside to be the one that's trying to actually fuck the alien representation of rape.
I'm gonna make that thing my bitch. What I was trying to say though is that my city for a good time period was basically run by the family business because Al almost became mayor because he was very popular, and he actually had crime under control for a good time. It was just that there was a feud between a handful of the mafias, as they called it, because
it was a family feud. Yeah.
They ran with anything the newspaper would make up. You know, that's why the Thompson 45 here was called the Chicago typewriter.
Yeah, I actually happen to know a little bit about the elections. There's actually a point in time where the outgoing mayor basically ran for re-election on the platform of "I'm corrupt as all hell, vote for me," and he won.
Well, I think that goes down into corruption you know versus the unknown corruption.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. I don't even think it was a corruption you don't know. It was they had basically elected a law and order president who was just uncovering this shit left and right, and and basically the people wanted safety over getting rid of the mafia.
The only real mentality. Sorry. But just that type of deal. Yeah, you're a part of a family, but the moment that you fuck up with that family, like you fuck over one of them, you're done.
Yep.
It's over. That's the reason why I've been teaching, like anybody that I've taught business with, like, told them how to hold a meeting and, talk with these people to get them to help invest in you or your idea that you're wanting. Because, you have to talk to some, people like that. And I tell them, I'm like, look, every time that you go in there, you be respectful to them, because you don't know how they got their fucking fortune. For the most part, you don't know you don't know what they've been doing.
You can't show any fear. That's the first thing. The second thing is you have to treat them with respect. You can't brown nose them and kiss their ass.
Literally fought. No, not kiss their ass.
Right.
Their ass.
No, I'm saying
or you could simply vet your investors and see and figure out where they get their money came from.
What I'm saying
there's no reason you have to do business with the mob.
No, but there are some people that they do, and what I'm saying is, like, if you have a group of people saying we have this much money, if you want to do it. Obviously do your homework about them, but if it looks more like they have a nice laundry service over an actual reputable business, well, mind your P's and Q's. Like, don't kiss their ass, but make sure to not disrespect them either.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's, how do I put this politely? Fuck it.
It's the classic protection. It's the classic protection money sell. The mob doesn't come and say, "Give us money or we're going to break your shit." They say, "Look, you need protection, and we'll send some of our guys here to your nightclub every now and again and give you business. You don't have to pretend you know anything, but."
Jesus, Patches, scare the shit out of Daddy. Go out there and bark at that. Good boy. Go bark at the neighbors. It's the weekend. They can get woken up.
It's like plausible deniability, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, they do take care of the people that they look after. You just never, ever, ever fuck them over.
You're correct on all this. It's just, I don't mean to laugh at you guys talking about this. It's just, believe me, look, you can hear the accent, so I take my word for it. I know a lot about all this. That's why I was saying, I could give advice on it. Yeah, believe me, I could give advice. You have no idea. I don't even want to like bring it up at this point.
Like there was a help wanted sign at this pizza place, and I went up to it, and at the time I was out of a tent,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this person from Adam, All I saw was it was a pizza place. It was a bunch of Italian dudes. I enjoyed their pizza, so I wanted to work for them. And they shook my hand, and later I found out they're one of the it wasn't like that side of the family, because there was two sides of this family. One of them wanted to have their family business, and the other one wanted to make pizza. Yeah. And they said, "All right, well, you can't be associated with this name if you're going to just be making pizza." And they said, "All right, so there's, it's the same name, but it's spelled differently."
Yeah, well, I jumped in, and you guys are talking about pizza.
I was actually, we were talking about this really quick. Just because we're not on the air.
We're on the air.
We are. Oh, that's the reason why I'm picking my words wisely.
Oh, damn! I'm glad I was watching what I was doing then. Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah, we on air, Scoobie. I tried to let you know, but you're away.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention again. That's just me. Sorry. All right, I'll tell you about it later then.
Yeah, that's stories for another time. But like I'm saying though, is these people they came to this country with the business mindset, and you know they a lot of them they achieved what they had to, but the way that the way that America's going, it's basically Scarface Nation, you know, like you gotta really fucking work to get what you want, and if you and you gotta shake a lot of hands, you gotta not step on any toes unless you know that you can get away with it.
Yeah. You know,
I mean, maybe that's a big city way of doing things, but I've never had to fucking kiss anyone's ass.
No, not kiss
or show respect to some organized crime shithead.
Well, I mean,
it's a lot different here in the
I
neighborhood.
gotta say, where the places that I've been, I've traveled around the U.S. I hope to go around the country in other countries, but where I've been in the U.S., where I've seen these families take over, there was no gangs. There wasn't really hardly any violence that was public. And for the most part, everything was ran pretty clean cut.
So in other words, like Japan and the Yakuza.
Yeah. Like, and I gotta say, the places that I was seeing, like, people that were just wearing bandanas on in their back pocket versus these people, you know, you got to admit the mafia's a bit more organized, and I would rather have them controlling the streets than have someone that, you know, gets mad and somebody looks at them the wrong way and they just fucking go off.
Yeah, you know, like that's what I'm saying. Look, you know, my father, may he rest in peace, he always had an opinion of certain folks that produced and made these movies and these television shows about us. And, you know, he always said that they had a really negative portrayal. And I was a younger man full of piss and vinegar. And I really enjoyed it. I love the fact that, you know, I could tell somebody I was Sicilian, and I could tell them where I was from, and certain people, you know, like their eyes would dilate the minute they would hear that, you know, because you know, like it would frighten them. And, you know, you're a younger man, and you're a shithead. I don't care how smart you are. When you're under 30 years of age, I'm sorry to tell you, you're a shithead. It's nothing personal. It's the way your brains are organized, you know. You got to get them not
for asshole. Thank you very much.
No, that's a personality thing. No, I'm not saying it's nothing against you. It's just that your life's got to knock you in the head a few more times for everything to get organized right. That's all. That's all I mean. And I was the same way. My priorities weren't straight. I was as smart as a whip, but I didn't use it properly. And I was a shithead. That's all. I had a great personality. I just wasn't utilizing it. But anyway, you know, and my father always said he didn't like the way that we were portrayed in these films, and I always said to him, you know, Pop, I don't get it. I always thought it was cool, the bravado and all that shit. But looking back on it, yeah, I can honestly say there was so much shit that they did in those movies that just the negative stereotype. You know,
if you want something that goes against that negative stereotype, and it's a show, I would say Boardwalk Empires. It really humanizes the main, like, the legendary style, like, names, like Al Capone. Guess what? He was just a running man in Boardwalk Empires. He's just figuring out that his son's dead.
I mean, here's the thing, though. It's TV. It's not reality. And
well, yeah, and it's going to be over dramatized.
Well, it's. This is why I don't watch fucking television, is because it is so dystopianly gone from reality.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and people are educated on fucking television, and it's people are morons, absolute fucking morons.
Hey,
90%.
Undoom's here.
No.
A moron.
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 He's channeling Undoomed.
Every time somebody says it and says moron, fucking moron, that's instantly what I hear just in the back of my mind, just going, "Hey, moron!"
You hear Slender Man in a suit actually being worth the memeing potential.
Yeah.
I had that as my ringtone, and I actually got in trouble for having that as my ringtone because I was on a train coming back from the city, and I had it on for when my wife was calling me because I borrowed her phone.
Oh dear. And everybody in the car looks at you when your phone goes off, right?
Yeah, the conductor had a problem with it. Everyone on the train seemed to like it.
So the obvious killjoy. Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's one of the things I can't wait till I get a camera because I'm going to take pictures of it on the train. They actually have a sign that says, "Warning: assaulting or murdering a New York MTA worker is a federal crime, and you will be prosecuted for it and go to jail." They actually have these signs all over the thing. Now, this
is not a duh.
Well, get this. They actually, somebody was able to walk because they were able to say, well, it wasn't posted.
Oh
my god!
I want to say, are you fucking kidding me? But it's New York. It's the East Coast, California. So.
Oh, California wishes they had laws as good as ours. Are you kidding me?
I don't know. Their rent control laws. Oh
no,
I know New York's bad, but does New York have squatters' rights?
Yeah, we have squatters' rights.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is the
New
thing.
York has squatters' rights. I just don't like their fucking gun laws. You're
Yeah.
gonna tell me that if I want a fucking World War II German infantry pistol, I have to make sure to modify the fucking magazine if I'm wanting to keep it? No, fuck off.
No, you don't, because there's not a single fucking German infantry pistol from World War II that carries more than fucking 10 rounds.
No, they have to have 7.
No, California's handgun law is 10.
New York is 7.
New York is 6 and 1 in the chamber.
Yep.
I know because I was living over in Dunkirk, Hamburg, and like Buffalo area for 3 years.
That's Kumo's.
I was there during the November storm, and that shit was fucking rough.
You know how you get rid of fucking you get rid of all of New York's stupid gun laws? You kick the boroughs out of New York.
No,
make
what
their own little. You make it your own little state. Call them Shit-fuckistan, and and the rest of New York is full of perfectly reasonable people that never would have elected fucking Kumo.
Yeah.
No. What you need to do? What you need to do is you need to turn New York City back into New Amsterdam. Have that as its own state, and then have the rest of the western area of New York have their own fucking laws. Like at this point, New York City has enough population to be its own state. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. New York City, the 5 boroughs, sets policy for the entire fucking state.
Mm-hmm.
Which is ridiculous, because fucking Kumo should be charged with treason, tarred, feathered, burned at the stake, and then hung until dead.
Damn.
Ooh, I like that. I really.
No. Also filleted alive.
Why don't you add it? Why don't you have his dick peeled like a fucking banana while you're at it?
Because the Constitution.
No. Nano Reaper wants to go full medieval. Hang, draw, and quarter them.
Again, can't do that because it's forbidden in the Constitution for fucking cruel and unusual punishment.
No, cruel and unusual punishment would be forced to get a gender studies degree.
I mean, it's cruel, but is it really all that unusual?
No.
They're already dead. What does desecrating the body have to do with anything?
No. Cruel and unusual punishment to those that get a gender studies degree would actually be not able to default on your student loans and actually have to get a job and pay that shit back.
You know what's funny? Believe it or not, because of what Cuomo did, the son of a bitch with his stupid his Excelsior program with giving all the kids free college. Because I'm a civil servant and my back got crushed, they waive my student loans, and they waived all of the compounded fees. This is because I'm going through comp, and my comp case hasn't been. I reached certain stipulations and criteria for them to waive the thing, because most of it was interest anyway over the initial loan. The loans weren't that big, but because Cuomo did this thing with Excelsior, New York State got screwed because the federal government turned around. The Board of Education, the federal Board of Education, took control of my loans, hit me with all sorts of compounded interest and everything. Luckily I can appeal because of the injury. They had to do this because of the Excelsior program, but I'm glad that they did it because we were going to lose X amount of dollars because of his ridiculous fucking program, which they took away from him now. But he's still out there actually advertising this thing, this fucking clod. But
I am absolutely opposed to free college because of the idea. Okay, college is not a necessary. Well, it should cost, because if you don't make it cost, then it becomes of no value.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should know. I went to a liberal arts college. Trust me, I know the kinds of people that get the sociology degrees. They are not smart by any means.
I have a master's degree in military history, but I'll tell you what, that master's degree gets me 0 jobs. But my DD 214 gets me a shit ton of jobs.
Yeah. Well, that's what
you're talking about. That I'm talking about how what's the highest GPA on it? Is it like summa cum laude?
I think it's
Magna cum laude or something.
Yeah.
The majority of the people who got them at my college, art majors.
Oh, which is Latin for I suck a lot of Professor Dick.
No. They didn't have to sleep with. No, it was the other way around. The professors couldn't fail anybody, from what I understand. Not just they wouldn't, but it's quite literally. If I were to go back and ask them what would constitute a failing grade in your class, I think the only thing they could say is the student didn't turn anything in.
No. You know what they would say? Showing up with a MAGA hat on.
Nano Reaper, they may be stupid, but they're not that stupid.
Are you kidding? They're tenured. They can be that stupid.
Yeah.
I don't. I think the one thing greater than tenure is civil rights violation.
Unfortunately, tenured professors think they're above any kind of rules whatsoever.
Well,
that's why I'm actually opposed to tenure on anything. I
would actually like to issue a correction on that. A liberal tenured professor thinks this shit don't stink. A tenured conservative professor, on the other hand,
couple 10 years.
Hold on. I've had a couple of them.
Chicago is always a clusterfuck, at least over here. Because I know over at the college I went to, thankfully we didn't have too many sodomite retards. That was pretty much about it. But that campus is long gone by now.
No, I've seen full out Republican fucking professor, and he was I shit you not, and I cannot fucking make this up. He believes specifically that marriage is there is no sex before marriage, and sex is for specifically procreation. He was very, very Christian. He still, possibly to this day, has not had sex with his wife. And yes, he has a wife. Dude's like, very, very like, well, we are going to talk about why marijuana is bad and why it should be illegalized on a federal level. And I just raised my hand.
So he's the reverse of the sodomites?
That's not the reverse of the sodomites. No. What you're describing to me is a conservative with a liberal mindset.
This dude is just fucking... I literally looked him in the eye because he was giving me like low grades on purpose because I was going against his arguments, and he's like, nope, you have to go with the grain. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to kiss anyone's ass, period. Like, you can go fuck off. I would rather struggle.
Nah, see, he's got a liberal mindset. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I had a conservative professor with a conservative mindset. He will bust your balls. He will not take shit from you at all. But I swear to God, I respect him to this day because I have never seen a professor who is more fair in his evaluations. And he earns, I will say, without question, he has earned his tenure. Especially considering, from what I understand of the politics at the college, he had to fight for it because he was conservative.
Yeah, I mean, this one's the exact opposite. Everybody's happy to be conservative in the area that I was at. So anybody that differed their opinion towards Reagan or anything else. And the reason why I say that is because Reaganomics was it was a good system, but I don't think that they factored in greed on the trickle system.
Actually, I heard the problem with Reaganomics is that he cut taxes, but he didn't do the other half of the equation, which was cut spending.
Yeah, that too.
So it's kind of like Greece and austerity. Because Greece is on the euro, all austerity is going to be doing is cutting off the other limb when you're trying to cure the fact that the left arm got cut off.
Well, the problem is Greece has no national. Well, the problem is Greece is also the only member of NATO other than the United States that was actually contributing their prescribed part of their gross or domestic product.
Well, I wouldn't consider that a problem. I'd consider that they're doing their goddamn job. Where the hell's everybody else's contributions?
Well, like, yeah, but that's what helped.
My understanding.
That's what helped trash the Greek economy.
Yeah, my understanding of why the Greek economy collapsed has more to do with the fact that Greece had just hand out everything, and there was so much government corruption at the time that
Bartender,
it was bound to happen.
I've got a few things to say. I solve my problems and I see the light. We got a living thing. We gotta eat it right. There ain't no danger. We can go too far. We start believing now that we can be what we are. Grease is the word. They think our love is just a growing pain. Why they don't understand, it's just a crying shame. Their lips are lying, only real is real. We stop the fight right now. We got to be what we feel. Grease is the word. It's got groove.
In other words,
it's got meaning.
Whenever anyone is talking about the Greek fiscal crisis,
Greece is the
knows
time.
How to rickroll that shit.
Is the place, is the motion. Greece is the way we are feeling. We take the pressure and we throw away. Conventionality belongs to yesterday. There is a chance that we can make it far. We start believing now, but we can be who we are. Grease is the word. It's got groove. It's got meaning.
Shitty movie. Don't care. The real solution is
this is the life of illusion, wrapped up in trouble, laced with confusion. What are we doing here? We take the pressure and we throw away. Conventionality belongs to yesterday. There is a chance that we can make it so far. We start believing now that we can be who we are. Grease is the word. It's got groove. It's got meaning. Grease is the time. Is the place. Is the motion. Grease is the way we are feeling. Grease is the word.
Well, to me, this is why we should all just buy. And another problem is the bottom fell out on the feta cheese and olive market. I mean, that's not the Greek's fault. So the solution to this is buy more lamb meat, buy more olives, buy more feta, because they're the only part of traditional Western Europe that actually paid their fair part to the NATO defense budget.
Well, it's still got groove. It's still got meaning.
And tell them to bring back the drachma. It's a better sounding currency than the euro.
Buy Uzo.
Oh, definitely buy
Greek
Uzo.
I hear Italy will get in on that too.
They might. Oh man, I had fun watching.
You also got to remember that Greece was the first country really hit by the goddamn migrant crisis. I'm sorry, the Muslification of Europe via Merkel's desperate attempt to stay in power. But
I like back onto the debt crisis. I actually do know the issue because I had to study it for my comparative European politics course, which was an exercise in when you're forced to defend the parliamentary system versus the United States system. But I digress. And no, this was not because of teacher bias. This was one of those, okay, half the class take one side, half the class take the other side, and I got shafted.
Damn.
And you just got fucked with no lube.
Yeah. But yeah, there was
You
literally like one criteria where we basically just had to say, like, we literally cannot offer an argument for this one. It is just too bad.
Did you just look at him and go, please give me some Greek olive oil for being fucked in the ass so hard?
Bartender,
no.
I've got something to say. I've got something to say.
Are you gonna
Why this
rickroll
car
us
is
again?
automatic. It's systematic. It's hydromatic. Why? It's grease lightning. We got some overhead lifters and a 4-barrel quads. Oh yeah. Keep talking. Oh, keep talking. Fuel injection cut off and chrome plate rods. Oh yeah.
Wait.
I'll get the money. I'll get the money.
You're talking about me already? I'm already here. I mean,
with 4 speed on the floor, they'll be waiting at the door. You'll know they ain't no shit. We'll be getting lots of tit in the grease lightning.
Wait. So let's break this down in car terms. He's got a car that has both carburetors and fuel injection and 3 different kinds of transmission.
Hell yeah. Go grease lightning. You're burning up the quarter mile. Grease lightning.
Yep, and that is why they had riots in Syntagma time and time again. It was such a hysterical free-for-all. I love the hell out of it. You literally had in that entire city, there were like literally 8 giant gangs of different political groups that were beating the shit out of each other with baseball bats, sticks, and bricks. Like there are people running in and out of hardware stores with these shitty asbestos masks that are supposed to protect them from painting, that they thought were going to actually protect them from the tear gas that the cops were shooting, and they're coming with hammers. Not to beat each other to death with the hammers.
So what you're telling me is we'll get some purple French taillights and 30-inch fins. Oh, yeah. A Palomino dashboard and a dual muffler twins. Oh, yeah. With new pistons, plugs, and shocks, I can get off my rocks. You know that I ain't bragging. She's a real pussy wagon. Grease lightning.
So
Grease lightning.
Six's description of this completely awful car with all of its parts on it. It turns out that Grease Lightning was a Ford Pinto shagging pedo wagon with that has a whopping 2 horsepower when it's all said and done because of all the power that's robbed by the 3 transmissions.
Yeah, because go Grease Lightning, you're coasting through the heat lap trials. Grease Lightning, go Grease Lightning. You are supreme. The chicks will cream for Grease Lightning.
You burning down the track. It never said why it was burning.
Or how fast.
Because it's Grease Lightning.
It was because it actually got beaten by a Yugo that was driving in reverse.
No, Nano. The Yugo would have thrown a rod before Grease Lightning made it across the finish line.
Oh no, man!
No, it's a suicide homicide. The Yugo backed into the Pinto, ruptured the fuel tank, and then threw a rod halfway down the finish line and can't go.
No! This was one of your good Yugo 4x4 turbos. They did make one. In fact, the only reason Yugo went out of production is we kind of blew up the factory in fucking Serbia.
I don't think you have used the words Yugo and good in the same sentence. I must question your mental health.
I shouldn't laugh.
Hey, because you know why? For years they were the Yugo Turbo 4x4, for lack of coupe or hatchback, was the equivalent of the Yugoslavian Jeep. So
how did they go out of business? Well, we bombed it. Sorry.
Yeah, we bombed it because
automotive world a favor regardless. I hear you can still get Lada Nivas, so not much lost there.
You can also in Tagma get a nice little refresher that'll get the tear gas out of your system for about 5.
Well, here's another thing. The reason we blew up the factory is not because they were building Yugos. It's also because the Yugoslavian copy of the T-72 was being built in the same factory.
So again, nothing lost.
Well, they were being equipped to Serbian militias that were going on genocides throughout fucking Bosnia. But, you know, whatever.
That whole thing is just a clusterfuck on all sides. It doesn't matter who was getting the tanks.
So
it
you're
was
saying Yugoslavia is a beauty school dropout?
Oh my god!
Whoa.
If you could go to
Yugoslavia dropped out of more than just beauty school.
You could join the steno pool, turn in your teas and comb, and go back to high school. Beauty school dropout. Hanging around the corner store. Beauty school dropout. It's about time.
I do have to see this, though. Yugoslavia did make the best fucking magazines for AKs ever.
So you're saying it's not unusual to be unloved by anyone?
Well, you know, they couldn't teach you anything. You think you're such a looker, but no customer will go to you unless you was a hooker. Baby, don't sweat it. You're not cut out to hold a job. Better forget it. Who wants their hair done by a slob? Now your bangs are curled, your lashes twirled, but still the world is cruel. Wipe off that angel face and go back to high school. Baby, don't blow it. Don't put my good advice to shame. Baby, you know it. Even dear Abby'd say the same. Beauty school dropout.
And people wonder why, again, I do not watch movies or television.
Oh, trust me, your mind will be rotted more by some of the commercials they're putting out. I halfway want to start smoking just because of those truth.com ads I'm seeing.
That makes cigarettes actually look appealing.
You won't know, Nano Reaper, but basically think the one South Park episode where the anti-smoking advocates come to school. They basically witness them make fools of themselves on stage, and then immediately cut to the boys behind school smoking cigarettes and coughing.
So they're basically the equivalent of the 1980s ad, "This is your brain on drugs," and I'm like, well, I like scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
No, because you're actually thinking something good about the drugs, and in a retrospect, it was hilarious on its own for its audacity. It's more along the lines of we hired we hired the most white bread rap crew to make an anti-smoking thing.
Meanwhile, I was in school whenever they had the little DARE program, and they're like, "This is the faces of meth, and they make meth using this, 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 and this, which can all be found in your house." And I'm going like, so they're making this much money, and this is high school chemistry, and why the fuck are you teaching us this?
They probably should have let out with a meth lab blowing up on its own.
Yeah, or something like that. They were basically going like, they use these biochemicals, and then you stay up for 3 or 4 days. And I'm hearing behind me going, I would want to do that on video games. And I'm like, these guys are fucking terrible at doing their job. None of these, like, half of these people didn't even know what the fuck they were talking about, and still they did it. Now they have a fucking class on it.
Well, I'd put it this way. I think they've grown so desperate, they've started doing what is effectively gross out humor for anti-smoking. There is one that is quite literally a song about butts, where the whole point is cigarette butts are the most littered thing around the world.
So, Bartender, what you're telling me is that the anti-cigarette people would like kids and cigarettes to sing this. We go together like Rama, Lama, Lama, Ka, Dinga, Da, Dinga, Dong. Remember forever, shoobop, shawada, wada, yippity, boom da boom. Ching chang, chickadee chang, shaboop. That's the way it should be. Ooh, yeah. We're one of a kind.
That would make for a better anti-smoking ad than the next one, which is quite literally a song about your dick.
No, instead,
I love how you can make everything sound deep and profound just by reading it next 6 minutes.
just have him instead have like a just give him a voiceover that sounds like he's got one of these, and then it'd be an anti-smoking ad.
Wait, did you just propose using Liz Reptile as an anti-smoking example?
I mean, here's a better idea. Let's just show a video of Viet Cong tracking American GIs by cigarette butts and murdering them in their sleep.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, true.
Did they do that?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why you have to field strip in the military. You have to field strip your cigarette butts because the enemy can literally track you by them.
Wow.
That's why you always have the impulse of making sure to put any trash into your pockets so that way you do not leave a trail.
Yeah, well, another way our troops were killed overseas in the desert was they didn't realize the smell of tobacco does not dissipate the desert air, especially at night. So troops on patrol, like the early troops in the 90s, a lot of the young guys, the greenhorns, were getting killed because, these guys could smell it from like a good mile or so.
Oh.
So they would just,
Yeah, except an Arab really can't smell that good because they're too busy smoking their own fucking tobacco. I really can't decide where people... I really can't decide where people smoke more. It's not the United States. It's
China.
actually probably...
China.
Oh, no, it's either China, India, fucking the Middle East, or fucking anywhere in South Asia.
Well,
wait, how are we defining the amount of smoke? Because I think it matters. I think where an Arab might get... I think what an Arab would do is that they're more likely to use hookah, which is a lot thicker of a smoke than cigarettes, which is a lot thicker than what you get.
Oh man!
Well, I know.
I would think if we're going to do this comparison, delivery matters.
Oh, and hookah.
No, we're talking specifically. I've already seen I've seen this done already. Cigarettes, pipes, and cigars, and I think they even did smokeless tobacco. They didn't include hookahs, but
really.
Yeah, but they didn't include hookahs in this study. They did, because the same thing like when they do coffee studies, they don't usually include the Turks because they got that wild coffee shit that they do. They'll include them like if they drink other coffee, like more Western types. But yeah, they
love how you're saying coffee.
Thank you. So what they did was they did a study, and pound for pound, the Chinese smoked the most tobacco out of anybody. They ingest tons of the shit. And
well, I mean, Chinese, they finish one cigarette and then they light another one with the butt before it even hits the ground.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Those like I know a group of Asians that they always live next to each other. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
The Asians will, but they will always have a beef with other Asians too. So if you, it's very interesting whenever you have Koreans and Chinese and Vietnamese, and they're all living in the same neighborhood, because they'll all be like in like it will get to the point where they'll all be in like one building for the apartment, and each one would take over one building. It's weird.
Yeah, it's the same
because they fucking hate each other.
I'm not trying to be racist, but
so what you're saying?
No, Asians are the most racist people on the planet. I mean, Chinese.
Honestly, I think what Vash should be more getting at is, okay, we've established that they all hate each other with a burning passion, yet they all live this close to each other.
I can definitely confirm there is a Chinese Vietnamese tension there. The Vietnamese look at us kind of warily because the one country that China tried to militarily conquer was Vietnam. They kicked our butts.
I was going to say, you guys did have your hand on the whip for a long time.
So the Chinese essentially look at the Vietnamese, and then they go out into the street and tug at their pigtails and sing this. Look at me, I'm Sandra D. Lousy
oh my God!
Won't go to bed till I'm legally wed. I can't. I'm Sandra D. Watch it. Hey, I'm Doris Day. I was not brought up that way. Won't come across. Even Rock Hudson lost his heart to Doris Day. I don't drink or swear. I don't rat my hair. I get ill from one cigarette. Keep your filthy paws off my silky drawers. Would you pull that crap with Annette?
See, this is what happens when you spend 40 years being straight edge and then you start working around a high-low with a leaky propane tank.
Oh, Ouija propane. Why is it one nomination that is? Holy.
What is it with you in the poetry tonight? You feeling all right there, bro?
Although I do have to say, the Thai and the Burmese also smoke like fucking chimneys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, if you can, Nano, if you see the opportunity, they have this thing that they do over in that part of the world, where they take it's some sort of a viper, I'm not sure, and they put it in a bottle and they fill it with whiskey while the snake is still asleep, and the thing wakes up and it recoils and like it rears its head back, I guess to strike, but it's too late because it's already in the whiskey and it kills it. So the snake actually gets embalmed in the whiskey.
Yeah, I've seen cartoon things of that.
No, I have had a Southern Serpent over here, but what they actually do is they take a shot glass of whiskey and they take a king cobra and they milk 2 drops of cobra venom into the shot glass of whiskey.
Yeah, I've seen that. There was a thing that's actually, it's big in Brooklyn. I think you've probably heard of it before. It's called Brown Brown.
Brown? Coke mixed with gunpowder, right?
Yeah. And I've seen people do it before, and
yeah, I know why they do it.
Shit.
Well, I know why they do it too. It's the gunpowder is supposed to actually help with some of the medical concerns with snorting cocaine. Something pain reliever, something nitroglycerin's heart medication, so it helps basically not make your heart explode.
Well, damn. I mean, over here, you have methamphetamines, especially in Thailand, and you have fucking ecstasy, which is like 80% of it's manufactured throughout South Asia, and then you have opium and heroin. But here's the thing: you don't want to be caught in most of these Asian countries having anything to do with that shit, because they convict you on Monday and hang you on Friday.
Yeah.
Especially countries like Burma or Myanmar, because they've had the stigma of being a solely narco economy for so long that they want the rest of the world to know that they actually export shit that doesn't fucking kill people. Like t-shirts. So they absolutely have zero tolerance for it. If they catch somebody, manufacturing heroin, it's usually a bullet to the fucking head before go to the damn trial.
Ooh, damn.
Hey, it saves taxpayers money in their point of view, but it's the fact that they don't want to be known as the drug capital of Asia anymore. Well, no, there's no cocaine grown in Asia at all. Cocaine is completely a new world product, and it has to be grown at. It has to be grown at. It's not even. People always think Colombia. There is zero cocaine grown in Colombia. It's processed in Colombia. It's actually grown in Bolivia and Peru and Chile.
And
Chile, because it has to be grown above a certain altitude.
Yeah,
it's a high altitude crop.
Okay.
But the reason most of it was grown in Chile for years, but then there's this guy called Pinochet took power, and he liked to throw drug dealers out of helicopters into the ocean.
Cool.
And some of them managed to swim to shore, realized, fuck no, I'm not going back there, and then moved to other places.
And that's how Pablo Escobar got his start. Was originally they were moving marijuana across the border, and then they found out, well, cocaine or coca leaves were started, in process. You could get more dope you could get more dollars per pound across the border in a load of cocaine than you could in 10 loads of marijuana. And the way the Colombian government for years combated narco trafficking is it was a felony, and it still is to this day in Colombia, to be a Colombian in possession of American cash.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
It does.
You would theoretically have no reason to have American money
in a non-American country. Yeah.
Well,
not so much a non-American country, because I can buy it in like big financial areas that you have some people who are they're changing money so much that it just doesn't make sense to do the conversions right away.
There's certain countries where the exchange rate is such shit. They actually prefer American money and have stopped producing their own money. Zimbabwe.
The new one's going to be Venezuela.
Yeah,
better get in the habit.
Yeah, Venezuela. Where you need a pickup truck bed of money to go buy a fucking roll of toilet paper.
Oh no, it was the place where memes were literally currency for a while.
Yeah, and then they cracked down on those.
Literally during the 1980s, it was like 2 trillion Zimbabwe dollars for a roll of toilet paper.
I was going to say, you reminded me of when I was younger, what a lot of people that I knew in the neighborhood who were doing things like the legit way to make money, now I was a kid, but my siblings were all older than me, so they had older friends who were like, the hot young Turks who were doing, who were getting up and comers in the stock markets. Yeah. And I remember in the 80s, the big thing that they were investing in was American Express because of the traveler's checks, specifically because of how big the Coke, the Coke boom was at the time. And everyone knew somebody who was big into Coke and had good connections. And so they all knew about how you couldn't, use American money in Colombia. So everyone had to use American Express traveler's checks. That was the thing at the time. This is before ATMs. So
credit cards.
Right. But
credit cards being commonplace.
Right, but it was so much easier if you remember the way that American Express had it worked. They made it so it was just easier to use their traveler's checks than even credit cards. It was the big boom in the 80s, if I remember correctly. And
you do.
So every one of these people, they were investing in it and they made a fortune. And the thing of it is, a lot of people don't realize a lot of the drug dealers, that's how they laundered their money. They actually took the American money and they put it they bought stock in American Express because of the traveler's checks. So because Colombia banned using American money, they actually helped the dealers launder the money because they just invested in American Express and made a fortune on the residuals from the investments, and the money came back clean.
See, this is why regulation doesn't work. People will always be smarter than government.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like one of the things, I was on a stream the other night and somebody was talking about it, and they had said, why is it whenever there's a riot happens, why don't they, stop the rioting? And somebody had said it's because the liberals, they don't want the rioters to be stopped because, I'm paraphrasing everyone on that stream, and I'm paraphrasing the whole conversation. I'm going off of memory, and it's like, nearly midnight by me, and I'm a little tired. But basically, the gist of it was they wanted to know why no one stopped the riots. And they said that the liberal Democrats who ran the cities, they didn't want to infringe on these people's civil rights, so they let them run, like roughshod all across the landscape and destroy everything. And I said, well, that's probably part of it, but what the other part of it is the people who own all of these places of business they don't call the cops and they let the rioters go, or they call the cops and they don't come. But but most of them won't call, and the reason is they're insured. And what they do is they go in the next day, and whatever wasn't destroyed or taken, they take themselves, and they blame on the rioters when they write out their insurance report. They're all insured, so they don't care.
It's a giant case of insurance fraud.
Yeah, and
also,
the cops don't go in because it's actually cheaper just to let them destroy everything for the insurance. It's just cheaper overall.
Also, no one wants to be the I mean, for those of us that remember in Scoobie, you know, you and I are old enough. Little event that happened in 1989 in Tiananmen Square in China.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
If you went in to like handle these rioters with a mailed fist versus kit gloves, the international press will crucify you.
Yeah.
You couldn't blame them at the time, though. It kind of makes sense. If they have that sort of rhetorical bludgeon, it's just best not to kick that hornet's nest.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I mean, no city mayor, the mayor of Baltimore, the mayor of Chicago, the mayor of fucking Kalamazoo, Michigan, doesn't want to be the guy that gets
home of the Michigan K-Wings.
Yeah, doesn't want to be the politician labeled the American mayor of the American Tiananmen Square incident. You know?
Oh, I just call him the American Mao.
Yeah, but I mean the thing is, I mean, politicians, regardless of party, regardless of fucking affiliation, are simple-minded people that just are simply seeking re-election, and are desperate to stay in power. No politician in America would do that because there's no way to paint that in a good optic at all on the global stage.
Not at the time.
And in the age of every motherfucker has a goddamn cell phone, you know, you have no way to control the data going out. You know?
Yeah, we have, for all intensive purposes, for our entertainment, we have willingly gotten all the recording and tracker devices, and we're happy about it. We're okay with that. The fact that a phone can automatically triangulate your position and know what street you're on, you know, we're perfectly fine with it.
Because the alternative is not having the phone. Like I know how the police can do the triangulation, but it's quite literally by just tracking where your phone pings off towers.
Yep.
So the option.
Do you have two options? You can either have a sat phone or not have a phone.
Well, there was 3 options up until a while ago. There used to be phones that could act as their own cell phone towers, until basically the other companies just put out a signal that blocks them now. So all they are a wonderful little knickknack.
Paperweight?
No, too big for a paperweight.
Bludgeoning weapon?
If you can put paper under it, it's never too big for a paperweight.
I wouldn't want to be smacking someone around with something that is easily worth a good $7,500. It's an antique now. But,
okay, it's an antique paperweight.
And the funny thing is, they have 2 months battery life on standby.
Paperweight?
I'm just interrupting. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Good night, Tara.
Good night, Tara.
Night,
Yeah,
Tara.
I have to be up at 9 a.m., so good night, all.
Woo.
Get some sleep.
Yeah. But it kind of just does become a bit of a question of it. Like, even with a satellite phone, I don't think it would be that difficult to get a reading on where you are. But perhaps that's me not.
It depends on the encryption method used by the satellite phones, and it depends on let's say it depends on how they use it, what they have to do. how willing the commo satellite owners and providers are willing to cooperate with authorities.
Yeah, I think the last one's where you're going to start having issues because with the magical power of the subpoena, you can get just about anything.
Yeah, but if you're pinging off a Chinese-owned satellite, and they might just roll their eyes and laugh at your American subpoena.
I don't think they.
Point there.
Well, I would say he would if it weren't for the fact that it raises questions about, okay, Mr. Chinese sat phone, how did you get clearance to operate here? If it's an American using this Chinese satellite, I think that negates that completely.
Am I the only one that heard when he heard him say that had the hey Mr. Tambourine Man? Hey Mr. Chinese sat phone.
I caught the middle.
But yeah, basically, I guess the question I'd be asking you is, why the hell is an American running around with a Chinese sat phone?
Because in certain parts of the world, that the only. Okay, reality here, fucking Burnside, for a second. Certain parts of the world, the only communication satellites you're going to be bouncing off of are Chinese. So.
Okay, in which case, I guess it kind of raises this question of, while true, since they're providing so much to the U.S., is it kind of equivalent to, say, Toyota having a U.S. headquarters?
Hey,
yes,
Mr.
it's a Japanese company, but at the same time, they do business in America, and that kind of puts them under the American legal umbrella, as it were.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that since you're bouncing off the Chinese, wholly owned Chinese-based company, then it gets lost in paperwork for months.
Yeah, it's. I guess the best way to put it is that it's a legal conundrum.
Yeah, or if they're bouncing off, say, a Russian communication satellite, it becomes a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
If they're anywhere outside of the Western Hemisphere, it becomes much harder to track.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I guess for the purposes of the hypothetical, I'm kind of assuming this is an American, because if it's a foreigner, then you've already got issues with who the hell is prosecuting this shit.
Yeah, but I mean,
are those, because I remember when they first came out with satellite phones, like those corded phones that were attached in the old limos and stuff. Are those still kind of sort of a thing, or like satellite phones?
Those are not satellite phones. Those are fucking old school cell phones. Satellite phones have a very thick antenna, cannot get reception in a building, but when you're in the middle of the fucking jungle and need an actual uplink, you can actually get a connection because there's no cell towers for 400 miles.
Interesting.
Oh, maybe those old phones that I was thinking of were sort of sat phones before sat phones, because the whole premise of them was you were basically lugging around this suitcase with a giant antenna on top, and you could quite literally go anywhere in the world and make a phone call because you had a portable cell tower.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you're gonna find people that work overseas are going to have sat phones, and people that work on ships are going to have sat phones.
Okay, so basically, who's getting prosecuted is already a gigantic legal mudhole.
Yeah.
Breaking news: Kelsey just followed me on Gab AI. Everyone else should do the same. What are we talking about?
We're talking about sat phones.
I'm throwing in my asinine jokes just to be a comical prick.
Sad phones? I got a sad phone.
Sat phones, not sad phones.
Yeah, but do you have a banana phone? That's the real question.
No, because I'm not free.
Ring, banana phone.
Yes.
And eventually it's going to come down to the only way to have secured communication is going to be a string and 2 tin cans.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think the government has better things to do than try and stop carrier pigeons.
Or
but then your carrier pigeon is dispatched to someone in the south after August 31st and gets mistaken for a dove.
Or you could just leave all your technology in your limo and meet up in the middle of Central Park and, tell the hitman who he's supposed to kill.
Could also try direct mail delivery with drones.
You're a fan of the Obama method?
No, Obama didn't send notes. Obama didn't send notes, although I will agree the content was still "fuck you."
That's true.
No, he sent ATGM-117 Hellfire missiles.
Yeah, I mean of a less explosive variety.
Wait.
So M80 firecrackers.
Well,
you could always do it the old-fashioned way and send a snail mail letter. Nobody would expect the U.S. Postal Service.
Every time that you heard a Barack Obama speech, he just seemed to just drone on and drone on and drone on.
Well, didn't he kill around a million or so people with drone strikes?
A million?
I don't know how many.
Confirmed or unconfirmed?
Tens of thousands.
Unconfirmed.
Possibly hundreds of thousands, but I think still less than a million, I think.
Yeah, a million,
that was the pun that was going around about a year or two ago. Was people were saying that he's killed almost a million or 1 million exact, roughly, with all his drone strikes he was doing around the world. And I was like, drone strike.
Maybe if a big city actually got hit, I could believe it, but I don't recall there being any. Like nobody took out Karachi with a drone strike.
I mean, he liked hitting funeral processions and wedding ceremonies. So I mean, he would murder a few dozen civilians per strike, sure, but I don't think it hit million.
That's a big number. I may not like Obama, but I don't even think he did that much.
Yeah, I'd say hundreds of millions, hundreds of thousands would be a good highball estimate.
I mean,
well, hold on. According to the State Department, the estimated number of U.S. targeted killings and fatalities by drones, total,
which is going to be higher than the number he gives because this is a State Department estimate, which means it's a low ball.
Yeah, always.
Pakistan, 3,068. In LWJ is 2,957. And another area, which they just included in Iraq, and another is 3,234. Yemen, 996.
My circle, I can.
Somalia, 286.
Okay, so we're talking to the thousands then, maybe tens of thousands.
Yeah, we're talking probably about 12 to 15,000.
Okay, double or triple that then.
At least, which is still a far cry from a million, but to be fair, who the fuck knows, because there was no transparency in that department any fucking way.
Yeah. So, although if a million people would be dying as opposed to tens of thousands, I would think by now that kind of would have gotten put on blast everywhere.
No, because if you're killing people in Somalia, or other parts of the bloody third world.
Oh,
in all honesty, it's the fucked up part of that. It's just another Tuesday. I mean, drone strike versus versus one tribe ethnically cleansing another. I mean,
hey,
I guess
can I make a joke / observation?
Sure.
Guys ready? Hey, you guys know why the media hardly ever reported on Obama's drone strikes?
Why?
Every single one of them's a drone controlled by the same person?
No. It's because the media doesn't report on black crime.
Hey,
but
congratulations. That explains one thing. That explains one thing about why no one gives a shit about Africa.
Nobody gives a
No one
shit.
gives a shit about
On a serious note, nobody gives a shit about Africa. Period. Nobody's ever given a shit about Africa. The only reason Africa gets aid is so a bunch of fucking retards can backpat themselves and say they did something.
That's
or
literally
no, honesty, there is no reason
or China's
Africa
looking to
should
buy
be-
off people so that they don't go investigating their little colony efforts over there.
There's not a single person on this planet that can convince me that the state of society we live in, where most people arguably don't even know their neighbor's first fucking names, much less give a shit about what happens to them, gives a shit about what happens to people in Africa. There's no convincing me of this whatsoever.
Porpoise, I hear the drums echoing tonight, but she hears only whispers of some quiet conversation. She's coming in, 12:30 flight. The moonlit wings reflect the stars that guide me toward salvation. I stopped, an old man along the way, hoping to find some long-forgotten words of ancient melodies. He turned to me as if to say, "Hurry, boy, it's waiting there for you." It's going to take a while to take me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. It's going to take some time to do the things we never had.
I think
I don't give a shit about Africa for the most part. I do give a shit about the damn minerals that we should be exploiting that come out of Africa.
The wild dogs cry out at
That's
night.
kind of the thing about African foreign policy. Absolutely no one gives a shit about it because there's always something else going on in the world that captures everyone's attention more. The only reason anybody cares about Africa is that it's a nice hole to throw your money into if you're feeling guilty.
I know that I must do what's right, as sure as Kilimanjaro rises like Olympus above the Serengeti.
There's nothing that 100
Singing all
men
night.
or could ever do.
I seek to cure what's deep inside, frightening of this thing that I've become. It's going to take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men more could ever do.
Hey, will you guys just let the man finish the song? It's actually, like, unironically, on a completely serious note, like, not even memeing. This is a good song.
I bless the rains down in Africa. It's going to take some time to do things we never had. Hurry, boy, she's waiting there for you.
Boom, boom, boom. Come on, Six, keep it up with me. Boom, 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 boom,
It's going to take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing more, nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. Bless the rains down in Africa. Bless the rains down in Africa. Bless the rain. Bless the rains down in Africa. Bless the rain. Bless the rains down in Africa. I bless the rains down in Africa. Gonna take some time. Gonna take some time to do the things we never had.
Someone needs to take Africa and make a Farmlands music video set to that song.
I think it was actually covered by Weezer, if I recall correctly.
Take the Farmlands documentary from Lauren Southern and cut it a music video set to Africa by Toto.
It's funny with Toto. Every time since I went to Mall last year with these guys, it's affected. Like now, every time I watch Rosanna, every time I see the keyboardist, immediately the first thing that comes to my head, he looks exactly like Greater Ajax to a T.
Hey, actually, here is some breaking news. Alex Jones was apparently caught with tranny porn on his phone.
Okay.
And this was, you know how he looks down sometimes and like he's got his phone there or whatever on top of his notes and shit. Like he was, I guess he was scrolling over, and there was like a little snippet of like some transsexual porn.
Okay.
No. You want to know why he has it? He is the literal doom guy, and he's making sure he is too damn angry to die.
He just wants to know where the degenerates are. That's all I'm saying.
No, he needs to see something that takes him off so that he can remain immortal forever.
No, look. Unironically, right? The media is like, and everybody that hates Alex Jones is like, oh, look at this, la 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 la. But in reality, that guy probably just got like another 200 million people watching his shit.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, fuck, you like teen girls? Holy shit!
It's like the whole sad part of it all is just like, out of all the people you could have taken issue with, you took issue at the parody.
Yep.
You do not fuck up more than getting mad at the guy parodying this shit. for being serious.
Yeah,
it's it's like trying to call a copyright claim on Weird Al. It's just what the fuck, dude. It's fucking Weird Al. He's going to parody songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's what I like about Alex Jones is he's very entertaining. He's hysterical as fuck, and when he does rants from anything from fucking gay frogs to fucking crazy tranny porn and the tranny overthrow of General Industries and crazy shit like that. Comedy aside, he normally hits on a couple truthful things, and it's entertaining to laugh at the crazy shit he talks about, and then weed through the propaganda to see, oh, here's the actual crazy shit that's going on.
The internet will never forget how the water actually did turn the frogs sort of gay.
Yep, and transsexual. It gave them multiple genitalias.
Doom ba doom boom ba doom boom boom do 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 boom ba doom boom ba doom boom boom. See, it's fucking stuck. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, sorry, Scoob. I probably got you a copyright strike doing that too.
I wouldn't put it past YouTube at this point. I really wouldn't.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I found out that there's another copyright scam going around. Yes, apparently the new one is that they don't even give you an appeals process anymore. They just say within a week your shit's banned, and you can't do anything about it because if you take away your appeal, you're essentially forfeiting your right to argue. So it's basically we're gonna hold your video hostage for a week, and then you can appeal it.
Yeah, and in that time, it generates money for the person who claimed to hold the copyright.
Oh no! I actually heard that changed. It's not going to a much better source though. Apparently, YouTube's collecting the money.
Oh, that's why they did it.
It's all going to your lords and masters at Google.
Yes.
Yeah, I've had so many different ones that have been trying to copyright claim, and I'm like, I haven't even made. I muted that one.
Yeah. Do you all remember
that's why I scream at every YouTube content creator that goes, I'm broke because I can't make any money on YouTube. Get a day job, you sack of shit.
Yeah. Well, do you all remember when Microsoft was the evil corporate empire, evil technological empire?
Well, they still are, but they have company now.
I mean, were they really ever the evil corporate empire?
Only a little bit. I mean, it was mostly for fun. But Google actually is.
No, if you really want to think about it, Microsoft basically owns every computer because they make pretty much all the OSs now.
Yeah,
yes,
but it's not like
you have Linux.
Not like they didn't literally make the most popular and user-friendly iOS or not iOS, but it's not like they didn't make the most popular and user-friendly OS, period. So it's not like they didn't, it's not like Bill Gates is undeserving of his money or anything. Like literally the entire fucking world runs on Windows. You expect that man to make pennies?
It's like a more useful version of Skynet. Yes, it's a Skynet, but at least Skynet does a whole crap ton of stuff, so we live with it.
You can play Grand Theft Auto 5 on Skynet.
I got no real beef with Bill Gates except for the fact he's practicing eugenics in Africa, but then again, nobody cares about Africa, so.
But Bill Gates also.
I'm like Bill Gates.
How much I hold him responsible for the Xbox series.
Toto cares about Africa because it misses the rains.
Well, I saw the rains in Africa.
Yeah, ironically, they flooded Nigeria and killed a bunch of people.
Nigeria, Hawaii, doesn't really matter anymore.
Well, Hawaii is going through just volcanic activity.
Oh no, there's a hurricane headed towards them.
Well,
it already hit. It's like 40 inches of rain, man. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, Scoob, my dude. I was telling you the other day when I'm driving around at work and stuff, I have like two options. Well, I guess I have three options. Really, really shitty, drawn out, played out radio songs that I just fucking absolutely hate and like literally drive me insane when I hear them for the 900th time. Or I have this really annoying like local talk radio station, which I fucking hate as well. And then my only other option is Glenn Beck, who is like the most I don't know. He's fucking retarded. I hate him, but it's more entertaining to be mad at Glenn Beck than anybody else. So one thing about Glenn Beck, right, is that every opportunity he gets, he's always talking about. He's always relating literally everything to the Holocaust, because he's like, you know, if Glenn Beck does a show where he's not talking about the Holocaust, like. I don't know. He's never done a show that he doesn't talk about the Holocaust and so much. He talks about the Holocaust, right?
Like Alex Jones, but played straight and not funny.
Right. Yeah. Oh, good God. Oh, fucking Glenn Beck. Jesus. So everything relates to the Holocaust. Like, you know, like BLM stands up and they say, you know, they just do a literal march, and they say, what do we want? Dead cops, pigs and bacon, fry them like bacon or pancakes or whatever the fuck, eggs and bacon. And that's the Holocaust, right? That's like, oh, we need to stop this now because this will lead to a Holocaust, right? It's like, that's Glenn Beck in a fucking nutshell, a guy who literally takes everything to the nth extreme of Holocaustum. So today they were talking about the shit in South Africa. Guess who didn't liken South Africa in any sort of the way to the Holocaust? That's right, Glenn Beck. Yeah, Glenn fucking Beck. Yeah, the guy who even while he was talking about it, admitted several times, like, well, things are getting really extreme there, and they're starting to rile up and stuff, and it looks really shady what the government authorities are doing, and they do have legal means now to completely seize territory and all this. Like, he's literally wrapping it up to where you would expect someone like Glenn Beck, who relates everything to the Holocaust, like, he's leading all of it up perfectly to be like, and this is what happened in Nazi Germany before World War II started, and they started rounding up all the Jews. But no, Glenn Beck, right? Never someone who fails to disappoint literally anybody who listens to him. Said that after saying all that, said, well, there's nothing fishy going on there. Like, what? Oh my god. So I listened to no radio today. that's the end of the story. I turned it off. I turned it all off.
Not associated it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Why
he set it up perfectly.
The one time where it's kind of sort of unarguable that there's genocide happening.
The only thing I listen in my car is techno, sweet techno, no lyrics, no bother techno.
Techno or dubstep?
We actually pick up a few.
Dubstep is
radio stations around here that are nothing but classic rock.
Dubstep is like battery acid to my ears.
Yeah, dubstep's terrible. That's part of the new age butt right dance music that everyone made.
The only time it ever makes sense is if it's either set in Japan or the game is racing and it's lots of drifting.
Well, let me just put it this way. Dubstep is to techno what reggaeton is to rap.
Oh, I hate reggaeton. God, I remember the last
you mean trap music, right? Or what is it now? Mumble rap? I don't know. What's the newest age butchery of the art form?
No idea. I thought it was all called illegal ignoramiation or something like that, you know, via the stereo.
No. It's like trap music. Trap music was the whole thing. Late Lil Wayne and all your like one song wonders would do. And then I heard mumble rap came into it, which was pretty much just somebody who couldn't enunciate trying to rap. And
wow.
I don't know if it's moved on because apparently the Hot 100 of Billboard has had a heart attack and nothing interesting has been happening.
I don't know.
Like pop music has all but died.
Yeah, pop music.
No, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. Pop music took over every other genre.
No. You guys want to know an interesting fact, right? And I know I said it a little sarcastically, but I'm not trying to be sarcastic. This actually is a fact. 90% of all pop music that you hear on the radio that has been heard on the radio for like the last 10 or 15 years has been written by two people.
Wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't.
Yeah, and one of them's a sweet
music. Are you talking about the music itself or the lyrics?
The lyrics, yeah. All the songs are written by two people. One's an American man, and the other one is a Swedish man.
That doesn't
So
surprise me.
everything from Britney Spears to Christina Aguilera to, all the other ones like in Sync and all that stuff, all the really popular stuff you hear on the radio, written by two men.
Yeah. So that's why they.
Yep. So
that doesn't surprise me, but God, that explains why.
I know one of them. I can't remember his name. He released his own album, I remember, in the late 90s. I actually liked the one song he did. It was In the House of Stone and Light was the name of the song. I can't remember his name. Oh God, what was it? I'm pretty sure he was the American. Isn't he originally from British Columbia, though, if I'm not mistaken?
I don't know, possibly. All I know is the sweet, bitter irony of little boys listening to seductive females sing sexual songs to them, and really, that was just a love song written by a man.
No, Mount Caelus,
here's the trick,
uncover
though.
me.
All right.
Come my restoration, wash my body clean. I've been walking along a crooked path where the walls have fallen and broken me in half. I'm telling you, I'll not rest until I lay down my head. I'm going to go into the house of stone and light. I shall not cry for the blind man I leave behind. When I go to the house of stone and light, in the house of stone and light.
Now, here's the question. Is the Swedish man, is that Bjorn Ulvaeus or Benny Andersson?
So straight Norwegian or Norwegian transplant?
No. Those are Those are the two male members of ABBA, aka the Illuminati, according to the Illuminatus trilogy.
Funny.
ABBA.
Did you guys read the Illuminatus trilogy?
No,
I never heard of it.
Oh,
no,
you should.
I've got another
pick for you. ABBA for this.
Do you guys not know ABBA? I just read.
I know
ABBA. I got all the systems.
We were.
Illuminati.
I mean, we literally just did a rendition of Toto. So
okay, good. Just making sure. I figured this group would know who ABBA is. So yeah, I grew up with them.
Well, if you change your mind, I'm first in line, honey. I'm still free. Take a chance on me. If you need me, let me know. Gonna be around. If you got no place to go, if you're feeling down, if you're all alone when the pretty birds have flown, honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me. Gonna do my very best. And it ain't no lie. If you put me to the test, if you let me try.
Boom, 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 boom.
I'm gonna be honest. That actually surprised me because I thought the other person who wrote all the music was actually the lead singer of the Buggles. You don't know who they are. Does everyone here remember Video Killed the Radio Star?
Yeah.
They were the band, and apparently, I actually watched someone do a retrospective of it, and just this guy managed to turn that into he's produced just about every big name pop star since Katy Perry was a thing.
I thought those were the guys that wrote the screenplays for every single one of Samuel L. Jackson's movies.
Honestly, it could have been. That guy actually has a really impressive musical career.
Wow. Just right over the heads.
The question is
right over the heads of these motherfuckers on my motherfucking plane.
Yeah, that's usually what happens with me.
Oh, man. Denzel. God, he's funny. You know what I think would be interesting? Just because...
If aliens came down here and obliterated all of us and saved the rest of the universe from our idiocracy?
Well, the only question I have
our
is...
idiocracy. Or at least a mediocrity. No. California's an idiocracy.
Yeah.
Well, I only have one question. Is
California's
Marcellus Wallace
genocide
a bitch? Is
the
Marcellus
one
Wallace
thing...
a bitch?
No idea who that is. The one thing I want to see, just because
Oof, I gotta go. Oh, I can't handle this one.
Burnside, you've never seen Pulp Fiction?
Not in a long time, no. It's been a few years.
You wouldn't know the answer to that question. Is Marcellus Wallace a bitch?
The answer is no. just to help you out a little bit.
It took me a little while. Yeah, I remember that scene. Yeah, where it's like, this is a tasty burger. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It took me a little while to get that.
You know, I'm gonna probably catch a lot of flack for saying this, but I'm not gonna lie. The first time I ever seen that movie, and it got to the scene where that hillbilly was tagging Ving Rhames up the ass, I lost my shit completely.
Oh,
I was double over. Holy shit! You know, and that's. I got an inappropriate sense of humor. Like I remember
You're
like
on the
well, my
internet on a thing where we have to put a disclaimer saying we say shit, we say fuck, piss, and shit a lot.
Yeah.
I think you having a dark sense of humor is a requirement.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember when I'm showing my age here. I remember when I was in high school, and Natural Born Killers came out, and
That's a really good movie. I liked watching that.
and all my friends went to go see it on acid, and
what?
Yeah, I didn't go with them to
My
go
friends,
see it
the same friends you ask questions for.
though. Now, most of
Totally
these guys
asking
are-
for a friend.
Yeah, no, these guys, most of them are pretty much deceased now or doing time at this point. None of the guys are left anymore, but they all went, and I wound up going. Actually, this is a rare experience. Was I went with my older brother, and he and I usually never went to anything. Now, I think I mentioned this before. My older brother, this is the one that was Marine Recon, and he was under Reagan for Reagan's entire presidency. He's seen most of his action was like, black bag shit, like Panama, Nicaragua, that sort of thing. He was a connected guy also in the neighborhood. So he was like a bit of a world-class sicko. So we went to go see Natural Born Killers, and the whole movie, he's laughing his ass off. like that, just like Burnside. Like at whenever something would happen, I mean, he's rolling with laughter. Thought this shit was hysterical. Like we sat right up in the front because he's like, "Yeah, come on, I want us to sit right in the front. We get good seats, see everything." I'm like, "All right, cool, yeah." And the whole movie, he's laughing like that. And I got to show you. I'll show you his off air. If I can find a picture of him, he's completely sleeved up with all these tattoos. They're the ones that you get in the field. They look kind of similar to jailhouse tattoos. So, and I think I told you he's got the one on the forearm says it's the Grim Reaper dressed like Uncle Sam, and it says USMC, Uncle Sam's Misguided Children. So, I didn't realize till I started dating my wife. You shouldn't like the scene in American History X where he gives him the smiley, and he curb stomps him.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't laugh at that in polite company. Like I wasn't aware of things like that, that things things like that. I would, I'm sitting there with the guys and we were, like rolling and laughing and chuckling our asses off. Like, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs to us, that's like comedy. We would quote that.
I got one
shit.
question.
Yeah.
Did your brother also laugh hysterically at the last Die Hard movie? Because for all the gruesome, crazy gunfight, gruesome scenes they had with that, I laughed hysterically at that too, and I actually scared my grandfather.
I haven't seen the last Die Hard movie. I don't watch movies like that anymore. I stopped watching movies like that probably when I turned 30. I got bored with them. Like what did I? Shut up, woman. Keep cleaning.
Oh, that's gonna get this thing. That's gonna get this thing struck.
But no, I asked that because the funny thing is, I thought all of the killing scenes they had in there were cheesy, and I was laughing hysterically with my grandparents because they went, they loved all the Die Hard movies. They're like, oh, let's go see, Live Free or Die with Vengeance or some shit or other.
Yeah.
It was the hacker one, and I was sitting there laughing through the whole thing, and my grandparents are like, "Are you psychotic or something?"
Well, the answer to that's yes, but
well, hold the fuck up. Where did the dragon guy go?
He had to leave.
Have I been doing heroin again?
You are not hallucinating. He went.
Did I say that last part out loud, or was that in my head?
That was in your head.
You said that out loud.
Oops.
Not in the tense I used, hence why it was funnier. You asked where did he go? I said he went.
He went.
My video is done uploading. I'm gonna put it here in the side chat, and you guys get the first exclusive look at it. But Plot Twist is actually already getting views. So,
Ooh.
Yeah, of course.
I never did anything nice for you.
Traditional YouTube. There's only 10 views, but 86 likes somehow. Good going, YouTube.
You know, I think we all could go for a little TradCon YouTube right about now.
Traditional conservative, the one we laugh at, or the one we weep at because holy crap, why didn't we see all of his predictions come true?
Before Google, before Google got a hold of YouTube, and it was just like, hey, we need people to come here and put stuff on our platform, and we don't care what it is because, that's the whole point of this. It's YouTube. It's a tube for you.
Now you can be the star of TV, kinda, sorta. And then YouTube actually became TV.
Yeah.
I mean, I like South Park and I like the classic Simpsons, but I don't want YouTube to be TV.
Well, that's to be fair, that's not the type of TV YouTube's going for. They just want to be the news outlet.
Mr. Hank.
No, they want to be the whole shebang. This is all of Turner Broadcasting, not just one of their shows or channels.
So vicariously, he loves you too, Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh.
Oh, come on. Do the fun one. Well,
Al's mama's big bitch's biggest bitch and whoever's biggest bitch, whoever's bitch's bitch, all the boys and girls.
South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. You are the most glorious of dick puns.
I wonder if they'll ever do a sequel.
College when that came out.
They probably won't do a sequel to it because I think they actually said in an interview that they used to do their whole like big long movie things, like the whole Imagination Land trilogy, the Coon and Friends trilogy, and all that were kind of their big movie moments. Now they're considering their video games to be their big movie moments. So they transitioned to it. They transitioned to it with the whole the Game of Thrones parody, and then
that
the
idea is fractured but whole.
Yes, and that is when they made the full transition. Unfortunately, yes, it does have DLC. However, the DLC is actually integrated quite nicely. Really, the only reason I think there are negative views on YouTube is because Ubisoft published it, and Ubisoft is a bag of dicks for a company.
How big is this bag of dicks, and exactly how many dicks fit in this bag?
Fairly large, but all the dicks are floppy and
they're Rainbow Six titles.
I mean, the floppier they are, the easier it is to stuff more dicks in the bag.
The point I'm getting at is that the point I'm getting at is that this is less a bag of dicks and more like a bag of offal that just so happens to be made out of dick meat.
I'm gonna have to get a T-shirt with that printed on it with the bartender's famous quotes.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man! Can you turn a phrase? Wow.
No, the more accurate bag of dicks straight would be. Let's see. No, that'd be EA, right? That'd be EA. It's
whatever. I just wanted
to bag of the most aggressive dicks.
I'm gonna be chuckling about that one for 2 days.
Yeah. The bartender's avatar, and with his little quote under him. I'm drinking coffee. Like reading that shit, like.
Yeah, it's like Ubisoft's not. Ubisoft, I don't think tries to fuck you, but they kind of end up doing it. No, EA wants to fuck you, and it wants to do it now, and it wants to do it without lube or a condom.
Also, I'm pretty Disney that Disney owns them. That's why.
EA's been doing this long since before Disney owned them.
Yeah, EA killed committing
if Disney owns them, it was a marriage made in hell.
Oh, definitely.
They own EA, and Disney owns ESPN. That's why. That's why they bought EA, because they bought ESPN. They figured, well, we got the sports channel. Let's just get the video games too.
It's in the game.
Yeah.
I never want to hear that phrase again.
Yeah, I've got a personal vendetta against EA because one of the first video games I really took off with was Command and Conquer when it hit the PC.
And they killed that.
Oh, of course they did. Yeah, they murdered that entire series after EA bought up Westwood when they had financial trouble. After Dune basically went downhill, they royally butchered it. Like after the Tiberium saga went past Firestorm and it started getting into, all right, we're getting into the second Tiberium War now and the third and so on and so forth. Oh God, they royally fucked that series to death.
This is why, and this is my advice to all you fledgling studios out there. If EA offers you a deal, don't take it, and then please wash every part of the body that the EA exec touched you with battery acid to get rid of the stench.
Or holy water.
No, not even holy water. Not even holy water. No, you would need the blood of Christ if you're going to purify this with religion.
Yeah, you'd need something sanctified by the last pope that wasn't a commutard.
No, not even the last. Not even the last pope. You need an agent of God, him, her, itself.
So, bartender, you're saying, oh, life is bigger. It's bigger than you, and you are not me. The links that
I'm saying if you
the distance in your eyes. Oh no, I've said too much. I've set it up.
You better go out and murder a goddamn angel.
That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion, trying to keep up with you, and I don't know if I can do it. Oh no, I've said too much. I haven't said enough. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I thought I saw you try. Every whisper of every waking hour, I'm choosing my confessions, trying to keep my eye on you, like a hurt, lost, and blind fool. Oh no, I've said too much. I set it up. Consider this. Consider this. The hint of the century, consider this. The slip that brought me to my knees failed. What if all these fantasies come flailing round? Now I've said too much. I thought I heard you laughing. I thought I heard you sing. I thought I saw you try. But that was just a dream. It was just a dream. That's just me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion. Trying to keep up with you, and I don't know if I can do it. Oh no! I've said too much. I haven't said enough. I thought that I heard you laughing. I thought that I heard you sing. I thought I saw you try. But that was just a dream. Try, cry. Why try? That was just a dream, just a dream, just a dream. Dream.
Yeah, Six.
I love how Six basically just starts quoting songs now, and we're just letting it happen.
Yeah.
You should hear him do 9 Inch Nails. Six.
Don't stop giving him ideas, damn it. Listen, seriously. Six, stop doing that, man. You put me to sleep. You got that. It's too late at night. You got that soothing voice going on, man. I'm sitting here like nodding the fuck off. I'm gonna wind up face planting the keyboard. You keep doing that.
In Burnside, I'm gonna be honest. I really don't want to have to hear 9 Inch Nails against a chalkboard.
Six actually doesn't. It's pretty good shit. There was Six. What was that stream singing that in?
Oh, the love song stream.
Yeah, that one. That was great. It was really great. He actually did good. It was something.
Please tell me you predicated that whole thing on "You're So Vain."
Oh, it was awesome. I love it.
Because come on, we all believe that's the song was about us, right? Right? I'm not. I'm vain.
I think it was the stream was specifically about love songs, so it was. That's not quite part of the format there. But if we ever do like a breakup song, or I've got an axe to grind song. stream. We'll certainly we'll have that one.
If you hate your
we'll
girlfriend, and I'm gonna guarantee you that if Scoobie ever associates the song with his wife, he is going to get a slap across his face.
What song is that?
Ugly Woman by Pac FM and the Extended Fam.
I have to hear it, and I don't know. I don't think, she probably wouldn't enjoy that.
No, she would not. Just let me ask you, if you ever go to the haunted house, they hand her an app just to get it. They hand her an app for the haunted house whenever she shows up to the circus.
What do you mean an app?
Job application.
Oh, an application. Yeah, funny. I don't go to those things because the last time I went to one of them, I nearly rapped one of the performers right in the face because, I didn't know. She didn't tell me that they come and jump out at you and shit, like touch you. So, yeah, she took me to this thing, and this guy went and he goes to grab me, and I thought he was trying to mug me or whatever because it's dark. So I grabbed him, I got him up against the wall, and all of a sudden I see he's wearing a werewolf mask, and I'm like, oh. All right. I just let him go and I walked back into the crowd. Ducked my head and shit. What can I know? I'm standing there. All of a sudden, I feel this guy's hand on my shoulder. So I'm like, dude, motherfucker. And I just pull him and grab him. I'm like, oh.
Take Scoobie to a haunted house because he'll clean it.
You know what it is? She told me that they were gonna have. I was used to the haunted house when I was a kid. They actually made a movie about the amusement park that we got up in the neighborhood, Adventureland. But Adventureland is actually the one that they filmed. It was at the sister park that they got in Philly. They didn't film it at the one by us, but they got a haunted house up there, and I'm used to that where it's all these pneumatic animals and zombies and shit. They come out, they do the same movement that they've done for this past 30 years. They go back, they come out, they do the same movement, they go back. That's the type of shit I was expecting. I wasn't expecting some jack-off coming up behind me in a green unitard with a fucking, werewolf mask on. Cause I don't know who the fuck you are. They should warn you, we're going to have people come up and touch you. Just letting you, fair warning, you might feel like one of our performers come up and try to scare you. Let people know, because, I'm standing there. I'm expecting, it's going to be a performance. You're, behind, you're walking through the place. People jump out. I didn't know these fucking people come out and grab you. Warn people next time. Where they had this haunted house wasn't exactly a nice area. I figured it might be one of the homeless guys was sitting there trying to rip my chain off my neck.
Yeah, I had a problem similar to that when it was when I used to live out by my dad in the middle of nowhere. It was the local fire department and a couple of the union guys and what have you got together, and they decided to do a haunted house, and they've been doing it for about 10, 15 years. And literally, this was when I was in high school, literally for the entire time I was in high school, they had to continuously put up more signs and more video disclaimers and crazy shit because people were dumb. Because what they wanted to do is they wanted to kind of push the envelope. And I was basically usually the supply guy because, I always found shit that was on sale for props and stuff. And that was pretty much, like the goth kid back then. So half the shit I was wearing, they're like, oh, dude, can we get that? Come Halloween, can we get that and that? And I'd be like, all right, just don't break the shit. So I basically lend these guys half my wardrobe and stuff, and they'd scare the hell out of the townie. And the townies, being, the poor bastards that they were, they try and bring their 3-year-old children, their newborns, their grandparents through this old barn that they would continuously take apart and put back together, depending on whatever theme it is they sat down at the committee and decided they were going to go with. The last year I helped out with it, they actually had a working elevator. I don't know how the fuck they did it, but it was awesome as hell. And the only reason I didn't shit myself when I went through to basically inspect everything was because I knew they messed with it. It was going up and down a whole bunch of times to simulate crashing, but they had it rigged so that it wouldn't actually crash. But, basically, one of my buddies from high school was he basically was a conductor from hell. He was like, greetings, strangers, and welcome, and, so on and so forth. And they all ooh, whoops, once more, and then to go bounce up and down a few times, and everyone was, like someone almost had a heart attack in there. And it sucks because, because of the stupidity of people, because everyone in their federal fees, and because, sometimes, somebody, some people are just misinformed, that, crap like that happens where, people, you're in an elevator that's a stunt elevator and it's supposed to get all wonky, and, people, go in there with their 90-year-old grandparents with pacemakers and shit, and they nearly die in the elevator because, like, oh yeah, crap, nobody told them that was supposed to be, a stunt. They think it's the real thing and they're gonna die.
Well, don't they put out the thing saying if you have these conditions, this probably isn't a good idea?
Yeah. What they actually did, the cool thing they did is they sat one of the officers down for the local PD, and they actually set him up with a bunch of makeup, and they basically did a 3D render of him actually talking as a caricature, giving the entire disclaimer, all of the warnings, and all that stuff. And people still bitched and complained for 2 solid years straight. And he like continuously doubled down on it and tripled out on it. And like we had like all these crazy I don't know how they got the money for this shit. They must have been running like moonshine or something, because they literally had several projection screens with like very different variations of how they do the render of them and stuff. The police chief basically sitting there as this demonic character, giving several disclaimers and warnings in English and Spanish and redneck. And these people did not get it. They're still coming in with like 3-year-old children. And, it's like, are you kidding me? Come on. What the hell?
The whole point is that it's going to scare the crap out of you. If you shit yourself, we win.
Yeah, and even the one year where like they toned it down a little bit and they were trying to be comical, I was like, okay, well this year everyone's into pirates, so I'll be a drunken sailor, more or less. I was, going to be like a drunken pirate. They complained I was being too drunken and disorderly, and I was like, that's the act. We're trying to be funny this year, and like there's like nothing we could do to appease the shit out of them.
This is why we don't apologize. It doesn't fucking work.
My sentiments exactly. I gotta hop out because the dog's being a pain in the ass. He wants to walk. I had fun tonight, guys, and I'll talk to all of you tomorrow. Bartender, you're doing great. I know you got the helm for the rest of this, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you then, Scoob.
Talk to you later.
All right, you got it. Good night, guys.
Okay, now that Scoobie's gone out, how does the old man stop this thing now?
There's
in all
really a big red
seriousness, I think $5 says stop broadcast, gonna stop broadcast, so continue.
All right. Yeah, I always had fun doing that, and Halloween was one of my favorite holidays, and I'm waiting for that to come up because I've still got to check in with a couple people, but we've got a fun thing planned that we're trying to do. I'll have to talk to Inquisitor and the guys, hint hint, next time I go and see him, because I also got to go give him this Warhammer figurine I'm waiting in the mail for, but other things too.
Okay, let me guess.
Yeah.
You're gonna go trick or treating as a whole bunch of acolytes of corn, and if they don't give you candy, you're gonna beat them to death.
Oh, dude, I wish I could probably get away with that if I were to fudge some religious paperwork.
Well, I got to go play some trick or treat with some vitamins and antihistamines and shit like that. So I got to take off. So you guys take it easy, and thanks for inviting me on. And it was fun reading lyrics to all you guys.
Oh, it was fun as hell, man. Keep doing that. That's funny as fuck.
Okay. Well, you guys have a great one.
See ya.
You too, man. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay. So do you want to still go on the Halloween topic, or do we want to shift gears to something else? Because I got to do my rounds in about 1 minute.
If you can keep us going on the Halloween track, we got about 20 minutes left.
Oh, hell yeah. I can talk for that for fucking days on end, man.
Halloween?
You
Yeah.
got to remember, Burnside's a psychotic. Halloween is the holiday built for him.
That's
Because
true.
then he can
Definitely.
go around with a chainsaw and not have the police and not have the police call down on him.
Oh, God. I got a good one. Speaking of police nearly being called, and Halloween events.
Oh,
my Uncle Joe.
I just realized. Did we have next 6 minutes do This Is Halloween?
No, we have not.
didn't.
No, we did not.
Shit.
Ah,
No,
dang it.
We'll have to get.
My bad.
We'll have to get them to do that. Good
I
thinking, no
overslept
time.
today, so my brain is being very, very slow.
Don't
fine.
worry. Burnside can give us a reasonable facsimile with the every Halloween, because I know you are a juggalo.
Oh god, the Juggalo version of This Is Halloween. Oh my god. The last time I heard that, I was so plastered. Oh my god.
I may not think the Insane Clown Posse can hit it out of the park very often, but when they hit it out of the park,
oh, definitely.
if only those two could keep on track with their songs more often, they have the potential to be good rappers.
Yeah. I mean, the people like me, I'd say in particular, like them because of the theatrics. And
honestly, if I could get them in my fucking rifle sights, I'd kill their fucking dumb asses. Fucking pop culture is mindless bullshit.
Yes, that's why it's so easy to take the piss out of it.
All right, I'll be back.
Fucking hate stupid people.
Well, you know what they say, Nano. Hell is other people.
Nah, fuck them. Stupid fucking garbage. Human garbage is nothing left in this world but human garbage.
Welcome to hell. I've accepted it. Well, Tyro's muted. And poor Priscilla, you've been strangely quiet.
Well, I'm just muted because I'm typing a lot as well.
You got a combo going on in your Discord or something?
Huh? Oh, no. I'm working on my next video.
Ooh. Well, maybe you should give us a little sneak preview.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've been talking to Lo-Fi about it extensively. I mentioned it on Tuesday's episode of Moonfest Destiny. So my next video is we just had some drama go off in the photography scene, where a male photographer was falsely accused of molesting 3 models.
Okay, so another Me Too story. Gotcha. I know all about it on those local webs.
Yeah. It's another Me Too story. It just happened like last week. And so it was like, so I managed to get lots of screenshots. So it's a in-depth analysis of a Me Too mob, or just a general bisexual mob swarm, with lots of primary posts and things like that, and breaking it down, tying it into the broader points. And I know they're false because the guy who was accused, he ended up releasing private text messages, which just completely blow their narratives out of the water. Like one of them posted how after the shoot she was furious and angry, and I've got text messages of her saying, "Oh, it's great working with you. Love to do it again. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge." Yeah. So yeah,
I've actually seen you talk a bit about this bisexual pipeline. What is that? I've actually never heard of that as a term.
Oh, it's because I created it. It's my own. It's my working theory for how all this junk that's getting produced. The She-Ra, you just had this thing with Crunchyroll, the High Guardian Spice or whatnot.
I saw Appleben's video on that one. It's just like,
yeah. Well, the part
you're
that
the fucking anime network. Why the hell are you doing Western animation? I might not get anime, but I can at least tell you when you're doing your shit wrong.
Well, yeah, because Crunchyroll is woke, so they're giving money. Because one thing Appa-Ben misses is Kate Leth. Kate Leth is from the Marvel comic group. She's one of the SJW Marvel people. She did the Patsy Cline Hellcat comic that bombed after 17 issues. They finally canceled it because the sales were just so terrible. She's also connected, by the way, to Lumberjanes, which is where Noelle Stevenson was also co-writing. And Noelle Stevenson is the She-Ra co-runner. So this is like, it's a direct cabal. It's from the same group of horrible, like, queer women who do stuff. Like Kate Leth is a renowned anti-male activist. She hates men. She posts bad stuff. She has been known. She's a homewrecker.
She's verified hate.
Oh yeah, and she's also a homewrecker. She has dated married men and expressed an interest in destroying marriages and stuff like that. I mean, she's a horrible person who cannot write.
So she's an old school kill all men feminist.
Yeah, basically, yeah. She's a very horrible. She's bisexual, of course, so she also gets like she has their queer card, quote unquote. Of course, she's fat too, so she gets that in there. So. Good Lord, it's just like it covers all the bases. She's a terrible person who hates Comicsgate. She hates comics fans. She doesn't think that, you know, that sales are important. She doesn't think that appealing to the fans are important at all. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
the whole nine yards.
She doesn't know how fucking media works.
Right, exactly. So this project here, the Crunchyroll, it's another case of the Biswell pipeline. You know, you have this Kate Leth person who has no business writing comics or writing any entertainment because she sucks at it. And here she is getting job after job after job and getting more and more prominence despite the fact that she is utterly incompetent. And it's because she plays to the right ideology, not because of her talent. It's the opposite problem, basically. At least before, when the left promoted their own, but they had talent. So it was like, okay, you know, or if you have a liberal and a conservative actor, they're going to choose the liberal actor, but the liberal actor they choose can also act. So it's not like the final product's going to suck. But now
I would actually disagree with you that this is necessarily a new phenomenon, because what you're describing to me sounds exactly like what the nepotism shit that was going on during Gamergate. And there are a lot of parallels to, when they couldn't beat the crap out of gamers, they decided, let's beat the crap out of comic book geeks.
No. Oh, no, when I say new, when I say new, I don't mean like
this is not a new novel idea. This is just new in this area.
Yeah, I'm looking at a lens going back to like the 1920s and 30s. So that's my time frame. That's when I say new. That's what I mean. It's within our last couple decades that this has been going on, because the Hugos, the Sci-Fi Awards have been going on for more than 10 years. They've been going. This has been occurring since probably the late 90s with them. With the comics and Eisners, this has slowly shifted again over the last 10 years. The timescale for this has been Gamergate is a well-known example. But yeah, the Biswell pipeline is just Hollywood's had it also for multiple decades, probably 20 to 30 years.
Here's to you, Razor Fist, and your Hollywood was always Red Video.
Yeah. Well, Hollywood hasn't always been red. There were in its early days in the 30s and 40s, it was actually run by conservatives, because business owners. It wasn't until the ideology and they began to infiltrate the ranks that it started shifting liberal. And then even then when it shifted liberal, it was still like, well, we want to make good movies. We want to make good art. We want profit and money. But now they are discarding even that pretense. As I said, so what used to be like you had a liberal actor and a conservative actor, they would take a liberal actor, but that liberal actor could act. So the movie was okay. But now, like things like Kate Leth and Noelle Stevenson, they are choosing them strictly because of their ideology. And it doesn't matter if they suck. Because they're like, no, we're going to shove this down your throat whether you like it or not. If you hate it, well, you're a bigot. You know, you already have people reacting to the High Guardian Spice with like pie charts saying, oh, what are those men with anime avatars getting in a twist now? Oh, women did something. Oh no, like that's how they're mocking it. It's like, oh, it's just men with anime avatars being pissed off. It's like,
so
no,
it's exactly like what happened with Battlefield V, and you're uneducated. In response to the woman in World War II who is apparently a double amputee.
Yeah, basically.
No, because I have a military history degree, and that's full of shit. Battlefield 5 is the most horrid fucking steaming pile of shit ever made by a steaming pile of shit fucking franchise that's been a steaming pile of shit since Battlefield 2142.
Okay, I might not like military shooters all that much, but even I have to give them at least some credit for Battlefield 1. It's not much, but it's something.
I actually want to play that game because I'm big into World War One. But yeah, I caught wind of what
completely and totally historically inaccurate, but okay.
Yeah, well,
everyone will give it some chops for trying to be historically accurate, but nobody's gonna give it the complete credit.
Yeah,
I think that's not something in consideration for a lot of people outside of all these guns were made in World War whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all these people could have actually participated in the war, correct? Fine by us.
Yeah. Well, I think Battlefield's
fine calm because I'm like meticulous about the World War I shit because that's like been like my niche for such a long time. But I was
From what I
contemplating.
understand, don't expect the people to make a lot of sense, but expect the guns to make a lot of sense.
Oh, I figured. As soon as
Nano
I see
Reaper, I'm sure you'd like to interject.
From what I've seen, the guns are actually existed. They don't have any, but like all video games, they lack reality or reliability problems. Like the Shishou should basically stop to function after 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes of in game, and should be unfixable because, well, let's make trench warfare and have a huge magazine cut out in the fucking side of our light machine gun magazines.
Actually, from what I understand, the Shishou was never meant to be a light machine gun. It was more of a. How well do you know your cars?
Pretty well.
Does the name Citroën Deux Chevaux make any sense to you?
Man, kind of a jack of all trades.
The Shishou was basically kind of like what the Citroën Deux Chevaux was to automobiles. It was never meant to compete with other automobiles. It was meant to compete with the horse and buggy. The Shishou, in that regard, was never meant to compete with a Browning automatic rifle. It was made to compete with a Mosin Nagant. Or a... Is it... No, the Bren's the light machine gun. The Sten's the submachine gun. Leonfeld was the bolt action.
Yeah.
Leonfield, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the Sten wasn't around until the 1930s.
That era of British firearms, all the names kind of bleed together for some reason in my head. I was just trying to nail down, which one was their Great War bolt action rifle?
Oh, actually, that was shit tons. They shot a shit tons of. They basically fought every war with that rifle from the Boer War, the end of the Boer War on, and it was only retired by Canada 2 years ago.
Wow.
But yeah, point being, the Shishou was made to basically compete with bolt action rifles with shit for fire rate.
Damn.
So
yeah,
I guess
talk to a British guy that can do like 10 rounds in a minute with a Lee Enfield.
Oh yeah, trust me. I don't necessarily think that kind of comparison is warranted. But if you're a Frenchman stuck in the trenches and you're losing, at a certain level, if I know how I'm supposed to use the Shishou, I'd rather have the Shishou over something capable of burst fire as opposed to a single shot rifle, because I don't think France had anybody that skilled.
Well, they had the Foreign Legion.
Well, they had the Foreign Legion, but I actually think that might have been a design issue. The French bolt action rifle doesn't the Leonfeld have can achieve that well a fire rate because it's really well machined.
Well, it also has a different lockup from what everybody else was using, which is the Mauser lockup. The Enfield lockup. There are basically two kinds of bolt action rifles in the world: the Mauser pattern and the Lee Enfield pattern. Basically, everybody ended up, but the British used the Mauser pattern. Like Springfield 1903 is a carbon copy of the Car 98. The Arasaka that was used by Japan during World War II is a 6.5 millimeter Japanese copy of the Car 98.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's kind of
the Mosin Nagant is a crudely machined piece of metal that would like to think it's a fucking Mauser, but it's a fucking piss poor fucking copy of it, like anything made in Russia. In fact, it took the Finns taking this design and going, we can fix this so we can use Russian ammunition to kill those fucking commie bastards, that actually caused the only decent Mosins ever to be made. In fact, when the Russians during World War I were trying to buy rifles from America, from Winchester, Winchester took their cartridge, looked at it, and goes, the cartridge is decent, the rifle is shit, and designed a lever action that fires the same cartridge.
Yeah, the point I was trying to get at is that the Shishou was competing against a bolt action that just plain was not going to achieve a fast fire rate no matter what you do to it.
Well, you know, what you do with a Mosin is you fire the rounds as fast as you can, you fix the bayonet, and you hurl it like a javelin.
Yeah.
No, what
Yeah,
you do is you
that's-
use up the ammunition and then die so that the next guy can use it.
During World War I, that wasn't really that wasn't as much of a supply problem because they weren't commies. They had the czars, and if the peasants didn't produce, you had the guy shoot them in the back of the fucking head because they were peasants after all. I mean, you know, Russia, the Tsarist Russia was the last country to give up fucking feudalism in the 1890s or some shit like that.
Which is a real shame because they could have kept the gold-backed ruble. Yeah, Russian currency was actually diss the Russians all you want, but in the later years of the Tsarist Russia, they actually had one of the most solvent currencies around, almost completely one-to-one tradable with gold.
Oh, another thing they had is they had a decent navy too, until they decided to take on the most modern navy in Asia with the Japanese, and well, the problem is
Japanese pretty much, you know, honed
basically try to punch down with a crippled arm.
Well, the problem with that is you were looking at a supply train that crossed 12 time zones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Russia is good for letting your enemy run through it, not you.
Yeah, that's why they've won by giving their enemy enough rope to the point that they wind up getting isolated, and then they just, you know, storm down on them. That's why almost no one's been
not
able
even not even that. You basically just have a whole bunch of people saying, "Okay, comrade, we see them running. Okay, start burning the fields. Let's just keep on going."
They expect to use our railroad design. Oh, wait, we use non-standard gauge and blew up all of our fucking locomotives. They have to run. They have to lay the track. No, that's literally what they did. Then let
horseback rednecks take care of them. Don't worry, they know how to fight.
Don't worry.
Pretty much, yeah, because
don't
Stalin
worry.
just.
I'm not even talking.
Save us.
General Winter is a very real force.
Yes,
and I'm not even thinking Stalinist Russia. I'm thinking Napoleon, and it was just pretty much burn the fields, let them march as much as they want, and we'll just have what are effectively our rednecks just raid them every now and again when they want.
And then you have the other problem is like with Russia. It was like during World War II, they kept retreating, but the idea was they go to America. And in all honesty, I disagree with our policy. We should have never lifted a finger to save them and let Nazi Germany and fucking Soviet Russia beat the shit out of each other, literally beat each other to death. Because Nazi Germany never had enough manpower to conquer Russia. But it would have left Russia at the end of World War II basically bloodied, broken, and destroyed. And the only difference is we would have had to nuke Berlin instead of fucking Tokyo. Instead of Hiroshima. But, you know, whatever.
I actually think the problem with that, though, is that Germany actually was at the breach of basically ending that fight.
Well, yeah, because if they could have conquered fucking Stalingrad, 20 more meters of dirt, there would have been a partisan uprising in the UK, or in the Ukraine, and because the Ukrainians hated the fucking commies, and literally Germany would have had enough oil to basically secure it. Yeah. But the hindsight of that saying is, in history's eyes, we wouldn't have had the Cold War because we just would have nuked Berlin and it would have been over and done with.
Trust me, I know. Foreign policy is basically one long line of Churchill's choices.
Yeah. But, the main thing is people always say, "Oh, well, Russia helped us win." No, we saved Russia's ass. America saved Russia's ass by fucking giving them tons of fucking coffins for their seven family members with the Lee tank.
It was more along the lines that Russia was a sacrificial anode.
But
it didn't technically do anything, but it took enough punishment where that other people could basically
But the reason I say America saved Russia in World War II is we gave them Lend-Lease Lee tanks. Needless to say, they all were destroyed. But that gave them enough time to move their factories across the Urals. So you had that protection of our factories so deep in Asia, they can't come get them because Hitler was an idiot when it came to fucking aviation and didn't understand the importance of strategic bombers. He was all about, oh, let's do it tactically. Well, tactically doesn't win wars. Blowing up fucking entire cities and leveling them to fucking nothing more than half a fucking stone tall, see Dresden 1945, destroys an enemy's infrastructure and ability to make fucking equipment.
I think Hitler's problem was that he wanted a fighter bomber.
Well, he wanted
that was
the problem is Hitler was a fucking 1940s version of Gecko 45. He was a mall ninja. He wanted the tactical shit. He wanted a dive bomber. Well, that's cool. Dive bombers were obsolete by 1940. He never understood the importance of strategic aviation or air superiority. He liked wonder weapons. Germany would have been better off never building Messerschmitt 262s and building a shit more 109s.
I do just want to say we're technically over time right now because I like talking with people. Wrap it up and then we do outros.
All right.
So, Nano Reaper, kind of finish your thoughts.
I'm Nano Reaper. I got nothing.
Yeah, Burnside.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, we're
closing up shop.
Yeah.
All right. The Burnside Film Project. I'm trying to get more shit done now that work is not killing me as much, but still is trying to kill me. You know, you can find me on YouTube, BitChute, Gab AI, Twitter, and I will be getting more things done for BitChute and YouTube with Burnside in Kekistan. I've just got to get around to getting over that way to the old man Rizzo's place so I can finish up the rest of the stuff because, logistics. But, pretty much everywhere I'm the Burnside Film Project except for Twitter. On there I'm Burnside_bums. And then on Redbubble, it's Burnside Film. After I get some more shit taken care of, I'll be getting more things done. I'll keep you guys posted, and that's about it.
Nano Reaper, you already did yours. Purposeful / National Libertarian. Are you here? Oh dear.
Oh no, the dolphin is dead.
Not big
Damn
surprise.
it, I wondered why I just got a tuna fish sandwich from room service.
Oh no.
I would be more worried about how the hell you got that out of a dolphin.
Well, dolphins get caught in tuna nets.
Oh, he's taking that route with it. I'm
At least that was
thinking... Yeah, me and my usual sick thing. Wait, why do you like your tuna pre-chewed then?
I like my tuna with extra flipper.
Oh, I think I heard PETA wanted to do this whole thing against shark fin soup. Perhaps you should try some before PETA gets in the way and we can't kill him because of pet PETA.
I've actually tried shark fin soup when I was in Taiwan. It's nothing really to write home about because what they do is they strip it down. There's no meat on it. They basically just strip out strip it down to cartilage. Cartilage doesn't have much of a flavor, and the broth they use is kind of a thick. It's a very thick broth, like a brown, very high cornstarch kind of deal. It's really not all that great. So I've had it. Nothing to write home about. Try it so you get it off your bucket list. That's about the only thing I can say about it.
I'd sooner have drunken shrimp.
There's a lot of stuff that's better than that and cheaper. It is not worth the cost.
Yeah. If Purposeful is dead for the time being, Tyro?
Oh, my name is Tyro in Kuwait. I wish I could talk a little more. Unfortunately, I'm a little tired and I'm also a little distracted. As I said, I'm working on a video It's almost I'm almost going Medicare level with it a little bit because I'm digging in to like what people say. Now the big trick is I'm not naming names. I'm going through. I'm censoring everything, so you will not know the location that this occurred in. You will not know the names of anyone involved. All that will be censored because my goal is not to trash a person. My goal is to study the behaviors so we can learn from this. Because this to me was a great opportunity to see a Biswo swarm in action as it unfolded, like raw, uncut, and that I can really pick out the key bits so we can see how these things spread, how they will come at you. So when it's your time, because eventually they will attack you, eventually, it's going to happen at the current rate. You might be able to take some precautions to defend yourself. So that's what this video is going to focus on here. Since this one's taking a really long time, though, I may do a quickie, I've been wanting to do a Tommy Robinson ASMR video for a bit. I might do one, knock that out. And also Moonfest Destiny, Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Central. We also have Not Safe for Wednesday on the same channel, Moonfest Destiny, 8 p.m. Central. And tomorrow, my waifu will be doing a show with Moxley on Moonfest Destiny. I don't know the name of it yet. But I may or may not be on there. Unfortunately, I work tomorrow, so I may not be able to be on. But go watch my waifu do her show tomorrow, Saturday.
And I am the bartender, your gracious host for today, who could actually figure out how to do all of this shit. Hooray, my internet didn't crap out and kill the stream.
Yay!
You are not gonna find me on YouTube. You're not going to find me on Twitter. You are not going to find me on any social media because I am laughing at you after all of that shit with Facebook. I am a usual regular on the Chaos Cast. Otherwise, why the hell would I be hosting instead of Scoobie today? And that's really all I've got.
We're not. We're not the Chaos. We're not affiliated with that in any way.
Right. I forgot.
The Musketeers, damn it. Damn it! Why you no read? Oh, that's what happens when I go do my round.
I'm used to my goddamn shell. I'm sorry. This is the Musketeers. It's an interim name. Yada yada yada.
Mess up again, and I get my fucking party model. We'll take you back.
I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm an idiot. I'm scared, I'm an idiot, and that is the thought I will leave you with as I end this broadcast.